Okay, can you hear me now? Until Amber gets here, my beautiful backdrop is gonna be hidden. Okay, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me now? Yep. Okay, good. Yay. That's the problem. I have to figure so there's all of these different technical things that go on when you add a person to join you and then long story short, I have no clue what I'm doing on a regular basis. I'm learning as I go. So here we are. And I'm going to continue to upload all of the stuff that I had already preloaded. I was so ready for tonight. This is so upsetting. I was so ready for tonight with all of the stuff that I had planned. So I guess this is just going to be me working under stress. I'll get it done. I promise. So, how's everybody tonight? Hopefully, you guys have all been avoiding this strain. You guys have all been avoiding the cold and flu thing that's been going around. I know a lot of people at my work have been. There's been a lot of call offs. People have been sick. I've been down for like 3 days, and today I have felt a lot better. But yesterday I felt really good in the morning. But by the time 1 o'clock hit, I was starting to go downhill again. And then I literally got off work, laid down in bed, and did not get up. But I've been in here in the office all day, and I thought I was completely prepared for tonight, but apparently I'm not. You two wanted to play games. So, Amber, if you let me see. Hold on. Arr. Susan Lucy said, I can hear you. Okay, thanks. Okay, Amber, I'm gonna drop the link in the chat for you so you can join me. And we will get going. With pneumonia. You know what? I've been told that there's a variant of COVID going around. And I well, not recently, but back when COVID was rampant, I was vaccinated and then we got boosters. So, I've been feeling pretty safe and I've never had COVID to my knowledge, which that doesn't mean anything because I could have had it and not known it. But I would say since Tuesday of this week, I have just been it's been a struggle to get up and go to work, and I've no more gotten off work and literally had to like go straight to bed because I just was aching and my throat hurt, been coughing, my chest has been killing me. Um, okay, I see you, girl. I got you. There you are. Hey,
Hey.
hey. All right, everybody. That's Amber. Amber's joining us tonight. And hopefully Rhonda and Cherie will be joining us later. Uh, Cherie and Rhonda right now are over with Foul Play doing a cam rebuttal for convicting a murderer, which is part of the Stephen Avery case. And when they're done, they'll be hopping over here, and hopefully Jax and a couple other people will be coming over. So I'm still struggling to upload. Oh, Char's here. Oh,
Yes.
Char, the link's in the chat. So I'll drop it for you again. I've had a heck of a time tonight getting this live going. I feel like I really feel like an infant right now. I'm sorry, guys.
I thought it was me because I switched over to the laptop.
No, I knew right before we went live, I knew something was going on because I was toggling back and forth trying to make sure I had everything uploaded, pre-uploaded, so I didn't have to share my screen. It was all right there. And
Yeah,
hey
Shar is
Shar.
here.
All right, Shar, I gave you the link. And I I couldn't hear. I couldn't hear the intro video or anything. And I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't normal. And then when we got in, everybody could hear everything except I couldn't hear anybody. And then I think what happened was me overdoing it. I guess I must have had two live feeds, I think, going at the same time. I didn't intentionally create two, but I guess that's what happened. So chalk it up
Hey,
to a
it's okay.
dumb
I would
blonde
have probably
moment.
done it too.
Oh, she can't join yet. She's here, but she's still over there. Okay. Shar can't join yet. That's okay. We'll see you when you get done. Oh, okay. I think what we did was you did Shar. I'm thinking of Cherie. Different names. That's what it is. Oh, today's a mess.
Oh, sorry, my
Anyway,
bad.
so hey guys, have you all had the chance to watch Garrett and Jasmine and Ashley's interrogation videos? And if you had, what are your biggest questions as far as how well, first of all, how do you feel about them, and what seems to stand out to you as questionable? I guess that's the best way I can put it. Like, what's questionable about each individual? Because tonight we're going to break down Garrett's interrogation video. Share, right? You're right. Yeah, that's the problem, Share. Cherie is someone who joins us on Monday nights, and Cherie is from New York. And when Amber said that I think that Amber missed that because of the whole switching in and out of lives. So we'll get it right. Cher is Ray's sister, and Cherie is a foul play member. So two different people. Jennifer. Okay, so why everybody's stories seem to align, but Garrett said he did it alone, and then Ashley was charged. So I think so. That's the confusion as far as what Garrett said and what everyone else said. So Garrett initially did not say that he did it alone. And because his interrogation video is so long, I really feel it's important that we go over it and piecemeal it, in fact, because I, I think that that's the confusion. I think that when we piecemeal it and you guys can be given the whole truth as far as where everybody was, what everybody knew, what everybody was doing, it's going to be very important when it comes to what Garrett says and when. Um, so hold on one second here. Sorry, I'm still dealing with this cough and it's awful. But Ashley was charged because one, she was there. Two, based on Garrett implicating her. And three, because of DNA. And that's where, and I'm not gonna sit here and harp on proving those facts. I'm gonna let the facts, how they are laid out based on each person's interrogation video, explain themselves. Ashley has been put in a position where she was literally in a position where she had no choice but to be there. And the fact that her DNA was more than likely spread all over that trailer for the amount of time that she was left there. And I
Excuse me,
it's
sorry.
one of those things where when Garrett tells his, I think it's 3 or 4 different variations of his version of what happened, and then he in one of those implicates Ashley, and he's throwing out all of these things. It just so happens that 2 of those things Ashley's DNA is a part of. And like I said before, you have to pay attention to detail. You have to pay it, and I don't wanna say pay attention to detail because, you have to see it with a microscope. What I'm saying is that Garrett threw a whole bunch of allegations out there, not just against Ashley, but against everyone that's there. And because Ashley was there for the longest period of time outside of Jasmine, of course her DNA is going to be there. Of course her DNA is going to be under Nicole's fingernails because they had an altercation. Um, So that's why I really wanted to go over his interrogation video piece by piece. And we're going to play segments of it tonight. And I'm going to stop it and I'm going to address the issues in the segment that we had just listened to. And you guys can ask questions. I really, really want you guys to interact and participate in all of these questions and your opinions and come at me. I mean, we are here. I'm here to say that I believe that Ashley was wrongfully convicted. And that can't come without rebuttal. That can't come without question. Unfortunately, she's been convicted. So now we have the uphill battle to climb. And we can't climb that hill without stepping over the leaps and the bounds of the things that don't add up, the things that don't make sense, and what a jury at this point in time, based on all of the evidence, and I'm not saying the evidence that was presented in the original trial, I'm talking about now, because the evidence that was presented in the trial came from the state. There was no evidence presented on Ashley's behalf. And within all of this, the bigger question is why? Why was there no defense? And and I'm sorry, but innocent or guilty, a good defense attorney will put on a defense which can be completely bogus, but they put on a defense. Ashley's attorney put on zero defense. When she had a shipload of evidence, a shipload of material that she could have presented that would have changed the outcome of this trial. And I say that lightly, that it would have changed the outcome of this trial because Ashley is not seeking justice in the fact that she wants just a change of the outcome of the trial. Ashley wants her innocence to be proven because she didn't do this. She wasn't a part of the conspiracy. There was no conspiracy on her part. She did not willingly prepare or knowingly go into that trailer thinking that Nicole was going to be brought there to confront her. She did not help Garrett. This was a landslide, smack against the head situation that she was put in, and she did not react. She melted down. So, I'm just asking everyone to keep an open mind, look at the facts that I'm giving you, and trust and believe there's more to come. I just want to go slowly so everybody can digest what I've presented so far. Because if you don't pay attention and you don't digest the words that are coming out of Garrett's mouth, you're missing it. Just like, and I hate to say it, but just like the detectives missed it. And I'm not trying to say that I'm smarter than them or they're not doing their job. I'm saying when you're dealing with someone like a Garett Kirts, who is he is an habitual liar, he is a psychopath, and he is quick on his feet to lie. When you sit down and you break down every single segment of this video, you'll see it. And this whole 3-hour video, not once is Ashley implicated. So I want to get into it. I want to conversate about it. I want us all to share ideas because sometimes I walk away from these lives and I go, that wasn't even anything that I thought about. So let me look into that. And I have all night. I'm here. I feel like crap. I'm in my pajamas. I have my ice water, so I'm ready to go. And before we get started, if any of you have anything to say or questions or something that you want to touch on before we get into this video and break it down, speak up, put it in the chat, and let's do it. Come on, guys. Do me a favor too while you're watching. Hit the like button and subscribe. We might be on a little bit of a delay. So how many of you have watched Garrett's interrogation video more than once? Um, just put an X in the chat if you watched his interrogation video more than once. Jennifer's watched it more than once. Oh, share. You haven't seen it at all? Oh my gosh. Okay, well,
When you have time, sit down and definitely watch it.
yeah. So,
Sorry, I keep muting myself. They're about to leave here in like 5-10 minutes. So if I go quiet, that's what's going on.
that's all right. Yep. Toby says he's watched it more than once. Okay, so I have a whole page of notes here. And even though there's only a couple of people communicating in the chat, I know there's multiple people.
It's on the page. It's on. You have it on the link to the YouTube page. His interrogation video, correct?
Yep. And share,
Yeah.
if you have a hard time finding it, I can send it to you directly. But tonight we're going to go over most of it slowly but surely because it has to be done. It has to be done for the simple fact that Garrett has had way too much access to a public platform between open secrets and the interviews that he's done. And Ashley did what she was told. She didn't talk. She didn't communicate with the press. She didn't do YouTube interrogations. She didn't do any kind of YouTube interviews from jail. And who would have ever thought, as an individual who was doing what they were told, would find out at the end of the day that it would hurt them? Well, normally in most cases it wouldn't. But in this case, I feel like it did. She didn't say anything. She awaited trial like she was supposed to. And she really believed in her attorney. She believed in the justice system. And she really, really, really just got trampled on. And it's heartbreaking. Um, Shar says, Cher says, you can try because sometimes I can't open anything in Messenger. Okay. Well, if not, I'll get your email, Cher, and we'll go from there. I'll get it to you one way, shape, or form. Jennifer says, Garrett's even a lyric in a country song. Yeah. Yeah, he thinks, I bet you now he wishes he was still singing country songs because, and also, guys, I'm going to make available the information to the prosecutor's office in White County. Everyone needs to start emailing the prosecutor there and letting him know that um, the public does not want to see Garett Kirts receive a plea deal in Ray Hanish's case, period. Um, I think that the bigger the outcry, the more of a back against the wall feeling the prosecutor will have there. But that can't happen. And that's what's in the works right now. That's why Garrett is sitting in the White County jail and he hasn't been transported back yet to Pendleton. Is because his attorney is trying to get a plea deal in Ray's case. Okay. So Jennifer, um, Ashley's legal team, Ashley does at the moment, Ashley does not technically have a legal team. So where her case sits right now is she's in post-conviction relief, and which means post-conviction relief is means we are within constraint of error in the trial. So you take what went wrong or what didn't happen based on what should have happened in the trial, and we have to outline that. Then you have ineffective assistance of counsel that can also be incorporated there, and new evidence or prosecutorial misconduct. All of that is being outlined ongoing in her case summary. Ashley has been assigned to a public defender by the name of Mr. Schutte out of the Indiana Public Defender's Office, and he filed a stay in her PCR, post conviction relief. Her PCR was granted with a stay. So her stay was granted. It'll be 2 years this February. So she's been sitting with nothing transpiring in her case for almost 2 years. And Mr. Schutte filed that based on the fact that the case overload in the public defender's office was too heavy. They did not have time to investigate her case. So her case is sitting there and it'll come up on a first come, first served basis because she lost her direct appeal. Um, and to back up to the direct appeal, in most cases, when you have a public defender, and I'm going to speculate a little bit here because in every state it's a little bit different. And I wish Travis was here with me tonight to guide me or to tell me to shut up. I don't know what I'm talking about. But I think I do kind of know what I'm talking about. Um, so when you have a public defender as a trial attorney and you are found guilty, usually that public defender does not represent you on the direct appeal. That's fantastic.
Amy, I can even say for me speaking as a public defender, you have to really know what you want and to fight for them to even want to fight for it.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And like if you don't speak for like, this is what you're only settling for, if not, you're going to take it and you're going to keep fighting and fighting, then they're like, oh no. Okay, let me just go ahead and try to get this over with because they don't want to keep fighting.
Cher says, I thought you said the prosecutor wasn't going to offer a plea deal. Cher, up until, yes, I did say that because up until the end of September, the prosecutor was not willing to offer a plea deal. And he was supposed to be transported back to Pendleton Prison. And then I think it was the following week, the judge put in the third motion to stay housing to keep him there in White County so his attorney could continue to negotiate for a plea. And my understanding is what's transpiring right now is that he's wanting a plea that what his attorney is asking for in Ray's case is a plea of 55 years that would run concurrent with the 55 years that he got in Nicole's case, which that is not justice. And that is the plea that I believe the prosecutor's office is not willing to give. However, you have to keep watching the my case summary and the updates because there are no charges for aggravated circumstances, meaning the premeditated or like the stealing, the theft, the stealing of the car, the wallet, the money, the TV. All of those things can be incorporated as aggravating circumstances on top of the plea deal, which in Indiana, aggravating circumstances can result in an additional 8 to 20 years. So if the prosecutor's office offered a plea deal of 55 years to run concurrent, that's not going to change Garrett's sentence that he got for Nicole. It's going to run simultaneously at the same time. And in Indiana, he only has to serve 80% of that. But if he's charged with aggravated circumstances, they can tack on anywhere from 8 to 20 years on top of that. So he could still get the 55 years concurrent, but they could tack on the 8 to 20, and that would be up to the judge. But the aggravated circumstances have not been charged yet. And I don't see a plea agreement happening at this time. However, Garrett is still sitting in the White County Jail for the purpose of his attorney to negotiate these plea deals. I really want to see it go to trial simply for the fact that I think that's the only way that we're going to get the details of what happened, who was really there, and the reason behind it, or if it was just, you know, heat of the moment, robbing and taking his belongings. But it really needs to go to trial. So
I definitely agree. There's a lot of
it
questions.
needs to go to trial. Yeah, concurrent means the same time. They're going to run at the same time, which, for Garrett to get 55 years for Ray would not be any additional time, although it would probably it would be a lot more compelling for a parole board to decline him parole, but time-wise, it doesn't add any time. But the aggravated circumstances would, but he hasn't been charged with aggravated circumstances yet. So that all could come down, I mean, at the very end of January. I mean, they could push it back. His last pretrial hearing, I believe, is at the end of January. And then his trial is set for the last week of February, and it's set for 4 days. So they have between now and then to finalize what's going to happen. So I'm hoping that it goes to trial. I think that Garrett is I think right now his biggest concern is that he knows he's got pretty much the rest of his life to spend in prison. And I think that Ray's case going to trial and the details of that coming out is probably going to put a hex over him in prison. Not like what the prosecutor in Ashley's case tried to make it out to be, like he was there to testify and he didn't have anything to lose. He wasn't gaining anything. That's not true. But him testifying against Ashley, as far as what was going to happen to him because he did that in prison, there was really no repercussion for that. Cher says, why is my screen doing that? Let me see. Consecutive, yeah. That's what consecutive is what would happen if they charged it where his 55 years came after he served the time for Nicole's case. So one right after the other. Concurrent means at the same time. Hey, Dawn, how are you? Okay, so we're going to get into this video, and I'm sure all of those who are watching, there's 14 watching. Come on, guys, hop in the chat and say hello. We can all be adults here. We can all agree to disagree. And I think, after all of the years of the case coverage of this, and everybody feeling like they knew what was going on in this situation, we can all discuss it together. That's what we're here to do. And I don't want anyone to feel like they can't speak up or they can't come forward. We've seen it all, to be honest.
Good evening, Dawn.
Okay, so going into the video where we're going to start at 17 minutes in. The reason I left the interrogation video the way that it was, one is because I wanted everyone to see Garrett's behavior while the detectives were out of the room. He was laying his head on the table. He was snoring. He didn't seem to be very concerned. And I just felt it was important to post the whole entire video. That way, it was out there for everyone to watch from beginning to end. The breakdown parts, shortening it, we'll all do here in the lives. Who is this? Let me see. Susan Lucy. Susan is watching. Ashley was thankful and hopeful. Hi, Susan. You visited with Ashley today, right? I'm going to pull this up here really quick.
Highway. Brookston's got in trouble for it.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so
I'm just going to ask you guys to bear with me as we go through this. I have tried 100 different ways to edit this video to make it quicker and faster to get to. I just can't do it. I don't know if it's my computer or if it's the file. We played hell getting these files converted over to an MP4 so they could actually be uploaded. It's been a nightmare with these files. So I'm going to do the best that I can do. I'm going to cut out all the dead time, and we're going to start at the beginning where Detective Rowe starts to interrogate Garrett. And then I have my key points where I'm going to stop it. And then we're going to review. So if you guys have, I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. Paper and pen. And if you want to write down things that you feel need to be addressed, we'll address them. But I'm going to stop about every 15 minutes. And we'll kind of review what we just watched and what was just said. And that way you understand the complexity of this. And I feel this is really important to do before we go into Garrett's second interview that's coming up on Monday. So here we go. We're going to start at about 17. Here we go.
KIRTS. Okay, where are you living, Garrett?
I'm living in I'm living around from my mom's or my buddy's house in Delphi. That's about it.
Okay, and what's your address there?
My mom's address is.
Your buddy's, your mom's. Where you living?
I bounce back and forth.
Okay.
My mom's address is 10413 South Springboro. It's like my grandma's and my mom stays there from time to time, so I guess I call it my grandma and grandpa's house.
Okay.
And my friend is off of 600 in Delphi.
All right. Okay. Do you got cuff key on you? What we're gonna do is I gotta grab my phone. But yeah, we'll do that. I'm gonna grab my phone. I'll be back with it.
Okay, right there. I'm going to stop it because they're getting ready to take the handcuffs off of him. What did you guys take away from that right there, where he said where he was living? He said he was living at a friend's house. He mumbled jumbled. He was living at a friend's house in Delphi. And then when they asked the address, he said, oh, well, my mom's address. And he goes, wait, where? Detective Rose says, where are you living? And he goes, well, I bounce back and forth. The reason that's significant is because he was living off of 600, which was Hodges Drive, 6045 Hodges Drive, which was Jason Palladino's house when all of this transpired. And I'm going to pull up for you guys really quick the images of that area and why it's important. I know we keep hearing about Jason Palladino. We keep hearing about Hodges Drive. And I promise you, by the end of all of this, it's all going to make sense. And I'm going to have to reload this because our first live didn't work right. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm having a hard time pulling it in here. But do any of you, I have it paused, share. So he was talking about where he was living. I can't pull up the presentation that I have at the moment. I'll find it while we're listening to this. But he talks about where he was living. He says he was living at his buddy's house in Delphi. And then he was asked for the address and he mumbled jumbled and then said, well, he was living at his buddy's off of 600. And then he gave his mom's address. Well, Hodges Drive is off 600. 6045 Hodges Drive is Jason Palladino's residence, which is where Garrett and Nicole were staying at the time. And I just felt that that was important to touch base on because those words did come out of his mouth. And we're going to move on. But hopefully I can get this presentation to reload. Sorry.
I'm scared to death.
Apparently, you did take off, and it's what, just a field?
No, yeah, I mean, because I haven't been in trouble since last time I got arrested. December or January, me and my girlfriend had gotten into it, and she hit me, and I pushed her off of me, and she called the police, and I got a domestic battery, but then I went to jail. I got out that week after, and she recanted her statements because we both beat the shit out of each other. Neither one of us was justifiable, but...
Who was that girlfriend?
Ashley Garth.
Okay.
I forgot that. Just put your date of birth right there. Okay. So take me through, so you have a girlfriend. I'm going to try to keep this straight in my head. You have a girlfriend, what's her name?
Ashley Garth.
Okay. And so how long have you been?
Me and her have been together off and on for like over the past 3 or 4 years.
Okay. So do you have any ties to Newton County?
My buddy Chris Mathis lives up here. That's about it.
Okay. And what else?
Just that. I've come up here to visit him a couple of times. He lives over there. If you turn left at the gas station and go to past the Casey's or the Citgo or whatever, he lives. You turn left. What is it? It's the Casey's. You turn left past the Casey's and go over the tracks. And there's this second stop sign on the right hand side.
Do you still live down off of like First Street?
He might. I mean, does he stay at the trailer park too sometimes? Or is he
Yeah, I took him out there to get his tattoo shit.
Okay.
Okay. But you thinking he lives right there
Yeah, I'm
past
pretty sure
Casey's
that's what he's
house?
saying there.
So tell me about this trailer park north of town.
Some girl named Jasmine lives there.
Okay. And how do you know Jasmine?
Through Chris. I took him out there to get his tattoo stuff, and he said that, oh, my tattoo shit's here, come over, she's cool. And she's like, oh, well, I'm Jasmine, nice to meet you. And she talked about how she had a warrant and all this, and she was living out there. When you pull in to the trailer park, you go to the entrance with the red fire hydrant and turn right, and it's the first trailer. But you have to go past the house where the girl owns it, or whatever her name is, a big farmhouse on the right side.
Yeah.
And if you go past that, you can turn right, or you can go straight. And there's like an old black Lincoln car at the second trailer is right here.
Yeah, I think it's a blue trailer.
Yeah.
So who all lives there?
Just Jasmine, as far as I know.
Okay. Jasmine having kids?
I don't know that I know of. She didn't have any there.
Okay. So when was the last?
Okay. So when Detective Rowe says, take me through everything you did that day, he starts off with, he went and picked up Chris to take Chris out to the trailer park to pick up his tattoo shit. Those were the words he used. So that never happened. That didn't happen at all. He had a friend of his pick him and Ashley up at the hotel that Josh paid for them to stay because Garrett wanted to walk the streets and find a place to stay for him and Ashley. This is after Ashley got out of the hospital. And Josh said, no, I'm going to get you a room. So Garrett had someone pick him up and take him to Jasmine's trailer. And Chris was already there. So all of this mumbo jumbo of, you know, I went out there, I picked Chris up. We're going to go out here to the trailer real quick and pick up his tattoo stuff. And I met Jasmine and she said, hi, I'm Jasmine. I have a warrant. You know, you have to put it into perspective, everything that he says. He's constantly trying to throw someone under the bus. Anyone that he feels is going to be able, this is just my perspective. It doesn't have to be yours, but it's mine. But the further you listen and the more you pay attention, you will see that anyone that could possibly implicate him in anything in wrongdoing, he always has a negative when it comes to talking about them. So he met Jasmine. She's like, hi, I'm Jasmine. I have a warrant. Now, I'm sure that's not how she introduced herself, but that's what he wanted to convey to the detectives. But he didn't pick up Chris. Garrett didn't have a car. He had taken Ashley, and we're going to back up to that a little bit later, but Ashley did not drive her car to the White County ER. And that's where she was, the White County emergency room. And from there is when they called Josh, and Josh got them the hotel room. We've already gone through Josh's interview and what he said, but All of this is a lie. Everything he's saying right now about where he went, who he picked up, why they were going there was a lie.
Last time you were out there?
I came up here, what is it, this Monday? Tuesday, I think, last week.
Okay.
I was up here till the day after, but I took Chris back to his mom, and then me and my girlfriend went home.
Okay. So what day exactly were you?
I was up here Monday and till Tuesday morning, and I went back home.
Okay, some of the info I was getting was that you were up here later in the week than that.
I mean, I was up here later, I might have been up here later in the week, but I'm not sure. It was Monday, Tuesday, and then I went back home and I came back up here because Chris was supposed to finish my tattoos and he didn't even finish doing this one. I had to go do this one first. It's just Lone Wolf. It's been my nickname since I was a kid because all my friends, I'd have a friend.
So, backing up, based on the records, he was not at Jasmine's trailer. He didn't go pick Chris up on Monday. He took Ashley to the emergency room late Monday night because he had beat her up. Tuesday is when they stayed at the hotel. So all of that is a lie. I mean, he's making it up as he goes.
And then growing up, like my mom always said, because you're going to be the leader of the pack, but you're going to be by yourself. That's what my mom always used to call me. Because all my friends would they tried to influence me into doing shit. And when I was young and if I was like 6 years old, a kid influenced me to throw rocks at the window with him. And I busted the window out of this house and we got in trouble for it. And my mom got in trouble for it.
Okay, so you come back up to finish the tats. On what day would that have been?
That would have been Wednesday, I believe. It should be on my, I just bought that phone. It should be on my Facebook somewhere.
Okay. What's your, you said you just got the phone?
Yeah.
What's your phone number now? Just so if I need to reach back out to you.
765.
Yeah, stand by here. Yep.
765.
Yep.
336. 2911.
2911?
Yeah.
All right. And do you go by Garrett?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you have your middle name or what?
Garrett.
Just Garrett?
Did you have a phone number before that from an old phone by chance, or?
Yeah, what was your number before that one?
I had a text now that used to be connected to my old Facebook. It's 280 6621, I believe. No. Yeah, 280-6621, 765 area code.
765-280-6621. Okay. And that wasn't just a regular phone plan?
No, it was, my phone, it was running off of Wi-Fi, so I had to use text now whenever I got internet. Like, if I got somewhere with Xfinity, I could log into my grandma's Xfinity account and call from, like, if I needed to use the phone. Other than that, I didn't have a cell phone until now.
Does Jasmine out there, she have Wi-Fi?
I believe so. Well, yeah, she had Wi-Fi, but I think she got it off her neighbor. So I don't know if she has Wi-Fi there, but I know I got Xfinity or Netgear or something like that out there.
Xfinity or Netgear? Yeah. Okay. I just thought I could figure out with you. Okay, so you believe you were last out there Wednesday night and a Thursday?
Yeah.
Okay, take me through what you did that day. Literally from the time you woke up that morning, because I don't have a clue. So what did you do that day?
When I woke up that morning,
Okay, up to this point, do you guys have any questions? Are you confused about the phones and what he just said? Yeah, Cher, he's all over the place. So he's running all different kinds of scenarios together.
I have a
And
question.
He's talking about, go ahead.
These are both, okay, so when both of these interrogation videos with any of them, they are all right off the street. They haven't been sitting for any amount of time, right?
No, on this particular day, He's sitting here. This is the Jasper County Sheriff's Office, which is where I'm assuming at in somewhere in this location is sitting Mikey Hiddle. Mikey Hiddle is the one who went to the Jasper County Sheriff's Office and said that he had information and he thought he knew who was involved with Nicole's death. And
So right off the rip, they could be high still at this time.
he could be. Now, I don't know at this particular time. This is April 1st. This is a Monday. He was ordered to leave from Jeff's house by gunpoint when Ashley was able to get Jeff and Jeff's girlfriend Angel to realize, like, "Hey, I need help. I need help. He's making me go everywhere with him. He just, took the life of someone, and I've been trying to get away from him." Jeff pulls a weapon, puts Garrett up against the wall, and says, "You got to leave. You're done here. She ain't going with you." So he leaves. So what he does from that point on, no one really knows as far as where he goes and what he does. But when Jeff made him leave, he left his cell phone at Jeff's. The cell phone that did not have an account hooked up to it. There was no service on that phone. So, like, you couldn't get in your car and drive and call out. He had to be hooked up to Wi Fi on that phone. That is the phone that, while at Jasmine's, the battery in that phone, I think it was an old phone.
It had to be taped.
It had to be taped. The battery would not stay in the back of the phone. And he was like, "Jasmine, do you got any tape?" So Jasmine took out tape, handed the roll of tape to Ashley. Ashley pulled the tape off, ripped it off, put the tape on the phone so the battery would stay in the back of the phone. That is the phone that Garrett had that he left at Jeff's. When he left Jeff's, we don't know where he went, but we know that when he was arrested, and he was arrested in Nicole's car, he had a new phone with a active phone number. And here he tries to explain that, and I really can't understand what he's saying other than the fact that I think the phone that he left at Jeff's was an old phone of his mom's that she had reported stolen. So he couldn't activate it because if he tried to activate it, it would come up as a stolen phone. So he was running around with the phone and only hooking up to Wi Fi without a SIM card in it and being connected to an actual server. And then he also used this app called Text Now, where it was a downloadable app where he could get an actual number that he could use to text people, but he still had to be connected to Wi Fi to use that. And Ashley's phone he took back in January when he broke into her house. That phone was left at Ray's house that Garrett had been using throughout, or actually from January 21st until March 13th. And I think she had the phone turned off. It was at one point connected to a service, but she had it turned off. So that phone would have only worked with Wi-Fi or one of those texting apps as well. So Garrett was using that phone and the other phone that he had from his mother. But this phone that he just gave the number to, it was the, let me see here. I have it written down. The 765-336-2911. That is the phone that he had on him at the time of his arrest. It was a new phone. The old phone, I believe the old phone that you see Ashley holding in her interrogation video is the 765-280-6621. And it only ran off of Wi-Fi, and that's the one that had the tape on the back. And that phone is the phone that Garrett had on him on the night of March 28th. When he left Ashley at Jasmine's trailer, he had that phone on him, but because it wasn't connected to a actual service, he couldn't call out on it. That's why you'll find out later on that he was using everybody else's phones. So Cher says he's all over the place. Yes, he is. I know.
Hi, Mother of Dragons.
Mother of Dragons. Hi, Mother of Dragons. Welcome in. Okay, so any questions or any, like, where we are at this point? I mean, he's given all of these recollections of what he's doing, who he's taking where, and why, yet he has no car. He's leaving out that on Monday he had put Ashley in the hospital. And if you guys are interested in seeing that 32-page report, I have it. I can pull it up for you, but it's 32 pages. That was in White County ER where she was taken. So, Cher, so you have to back all the way up to January. Ashley had put Garrett out of her house at the early beginning of January because he was stealing things from her home. He had stolen her rent money, the abuse, and on top of that, he was cheating. And Nicole was someone that she knew of that he was cheating with, but she knew, he just played the field entirely. So she had put him out. And from the time that she put him out until January 21st, he had threatened her, called, showed up at her job, threatened her family. He had slashed the tires on her car. He was pounding on her windows in the middle of the night. And, he's one of the easiest way I can explain it from what I have gathered. He was the kind of guy, Ashley was a tomboy. Ashley grew up, doing tomboyish things, and a lot of her best friends were guys. And that was just the way that she was. She never had a girl roommate, despite a rumor that, she was roommates with Michaela Babcock. That is not true. Ashley always had guys as friends for the most part. And when Garrett came into her life, all of the guy friends became an issue. Anytime Ashley wasn't home within 5 minutes from work when she should have been, she was being accused of being with someone. Every single one of her friends, he was accusing her of having a relationship with intimately when they were just buddies. Ashley was just a tomboy, and she had more guy friends than girls. I personally can relate to that because I'm kind of the same way. When it comes to females, I tend to not normally on a daily basis have girl friends just because I don't do the drama. I get along with guys a lot easier. And I think that, based on what Ashley has said, that's how she was as well. So when Garrett was threatening and telling her, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, Ashley was like, whatever, I'm done. Get your stuff, get out of my house. I'm not coming home until you're gone. And that just literally set him over the edge. He broke in. That's when he attacked her on January 1st or January 21st. And when he attacked her and he got her hog-tied, duct taped her mouth, he also took her phone at that time. The purpose of taking her phone, she believes, and I agree, was because they had been separated for several weeks. She had put him out of the house. and she didn't want anything to do with him. He wanted to see, by accessing her phone, who she was talking to and what she had been doing. When her friend started banging on the front door, um, and called her stepdad, and her stepdad was on his way, and Garrett knew, he didn't have enough time to carry out his plan because he had the bathtub lined with plastic. He had a jigsaw or a hacksaw um, type thing in the bathroom. He was planning on dismembering her. So when he realized that he wasn't going to have enough time to carry out the plan, he took off on foot and he was arrested, but he took her phone. And the crazy thing about the whole thing is that Ashley informed the police when they arrived. They seen the duct tape. She had duct tape on her mouth. They took pictures, they made the report, and they filed the restraining order. But when he was arrested, that phone was put in his property. And when he bonded out on those DV charges, they gave him back Ashley's phone that he had taken from her, and he took it. They never returned the phone to Ashley. So he had her phone. So the phone was disconnected from the provider. So all he could do was use it when it was connected to Wi-Fi. When he was at Ray's, he had Ashley's phone. And for whatever reason, he left it in Ray's house. That's how her phone came to be there. Garrett had her phone for from January 21st until March 13th. Let's see. Let's catch up on the chat. Hey, sorry for your loss. Yeah. Jennifer, you said my gosh to what? Share. Yeah, good grief. If you're talking about that case with Ashley, yeah, that's
That's
what transpired.
About.
Yeah, that's what transpired when she, and well, thank God I didn't go to the extent of doing that, but I have a letter from Ashley that I'm going to post where this was many, 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 many months ago when she wrote, because I'm like, put it in writing and tell me what happened. And she details what transpired that day when she came home after being gone from her house for a couple of days, simply to avoid him. And what he did to her was really horrific. And the fact that he was able to get bond after a week and a half and then turn around on February 28th and violate the restraining order. And I don't, and I still don't understand the Indiana law, because I've seen multiple cases where the violation of the restraining order is charged as a invasion of privacy. And that's what he was charged with. And I don't what is the point of the protective order and the no contact order? So when he was arrested on the 28th for the breaking of the restraining order, once he was arrested, he was only charged with invasion of privacy, and he bonded out the same day. And then 13 days later, he did what he did to Ray. It's sickening. He was dismemberment. Yes, he had. So and I feel like I keep getting ahead of myself because I'm trying to do all of this in chronological order. But I have, like I had said before, I have inconspicuously corresponded with Garett Kirts. It was difficult to do, but I had to, for the purpose of certain proofs and certain truths. But when I confronted him with the fact that he had dismantled Ashley's bathroom at her house, I mean, he had taken apart pipes and was putting in larger pipes. Like he had brought things with him to be able to get rid of things in the drainage system in the bathroom. And he had a hacksaw, he had the bathtub lined with plastic. He had everything laid out, the duct tape, the bindings, the things that he had planned on using, and he was going to dismember her in her own home. And luckily she got away. But the fact that he wasn't charged with attempted murder and only charged with an F6 of strangulation, that's a I mean, that's I mean, I I don't even know what to say to that. But it always seems like
I
when you're
know
dealing
here in
with a
Ohio
woman
as well,
who is being
it would have been different here.
yeah, it's absolutely different. But it always seems in these kind of circumstances where the victim who is crying for help and calling police and doing everything that she needs to do to get help, there's no relief until it's too late. And in this situation, I mean, two more people's lives were taken. And then Ashley being a third based on all of this because of him being allowed to get away with whatever he wanted to get away with. And that's how I feel
And
about it.
it's really crazy because there's a lot of women I've met in prison that were domestic violence, and the system didn't want to help them, and the system just kept putting it against them. I got really close with the one lady, and she's in there for killing her husband because of what he did to her daughter. And it was like she tried getting help from the cops. They didn't want. They just kept putting it on. He had court cases. Still wasn't. I think there was like 6 pending before she ended up snapping.
Mhm.
And they wanted her like to still let visits with the daughter after raping her and everything. It was mind blowing too. And I'm like, I can't say I wouldn't have done the same thing if that was
Well,
me and
yeah,
my
I
kid.
mean, in some circumstances, they back you into a corner.
Yes.
Cher, you said, okay, so he stole 2 phones from her, 2 phones from Ashley? No, just the one. Her phone is the phone that he took when he broke in on January 21st. He took her phone and she had it I believe that she had it disconnected shortly after from having actual telephone service. Like he couldn't be away from Wi-Fi and utilize the phone. He could only use the text apps and Wi-Fi. He was accessing her Facebook. He had downloaded what is it called? The Text Me app, and he was utilizing that. So that was from January 21st. He had her phone from January 21st all the way through the February, and then her phone was left at Ray's um, on March 13th/14th. So it was just her one phone that he took. He took her phone so he could access it to see what she had been doing since she had kicked him out. But he also had his own phone. So at that point, when he left on foot running from the police January 21st, he took her phone, but he also had his own phone. Neither phones were connected to a phone service. They had to be connected to Wi-Fi. But it was her phone that he left at your brother's house on March 13th. And Cher says, what pisses me off is they would have kept his sorry ass locked up, then Ray and Nicole. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the whole point.
That is exactly what we were talking about, Amy.
Yeah. And if you and that's another thing why it's important when you listen to this video. We just went through where he's telling these detectives who clearly have the ability to pull the case where he says, well, about a month and a half ago, me and my girlfriend got into it and, I hit her and she hit on me and, we beat each other up and then I got locked up and then a week later she recanted. No, she did not. And that is not what happened. He consistently tries to lay blame on everybody else. He will take a small portion of the blame on himself, but it's always because of someone else or they are equally as guilty as him. You'll see that as we go on. It's just so frustrating to listen to. All right, getting back into it. Hey guys, if you haven't hit that like button or subscribe, please do so. There's 22 watching and only 2 likes. Come on, guys. You can do that for me, please.
Me and my girlfriend and took a shower and shit. And my buddy called, which was Chris, and he said, "Hey man," he goes, "Why don't you come up here and hang out for a little bit?" Okay. So we come up here, and when I got here, my phone took me, the GPS, it took me way the fuck out that way to where the cones are. It told me to turn right and go down the country road, and there's like a blue house on the right corner, and it told me to, like, the GPS took me right to the middle of the road, so I called Chris. I'm like, "Where the fuck am I at?" He said, "Oh, it took you on down." He's like, "Come back to the highway, turn right, and then come back to the gas station and turn right where the Jeep is." So I called him, and I turned right to the Jeep, went to a stop sign, turned left, got a Casey's, went over, picked him up at his house. And he said, "We're going to go out here to the trailer park real quick." And I said, "Well, what's at the trailer park?" He's like, "My friend Jasmine." I think I've known Chris for a while, but I used to work with him in exterior view in Lafayette. And one day he was like all fucked up, and I couldn't even understand him one day. And he was up, down. Well, then he had fallen asleep, and he was sweating profusely. So the only thing I'm thinking is, man, I hope he's on fucking bullshit again. We go out there, and I ended up meeting Jasmine, and she seemed all right, but she was all nice, and she let my girlfriend here use her makeup and trim her nails and what have you. And they're talking, and they became like really good friends. So Chris is supposed to do my tattoos, but he can't find an Allen wrench to finish it, like to tighten his tattoo needle up.
Okay, right there. Once again, you see how he went into that long, drawn out story about Chris. Chris being all messed up on some sort of drug, and he's hoping that when he goes out here, he's not going to encounter that kind of Chris. He's always trying to throw somebody under the bus, and he's afraid of drug dealers, and he's always trying to help someone. He's sickening.
So we look for hours for that out in the, where the trailer's at. It's kind of hard to explain. There's like an add-on where you go through the door at. Mm-hmm. And we look for Allen wrenches out there for like 30 minutes, and went back inside, and I tore the kitchen apart, and like the cup-wise, she had a bunch of cups with like pennies and shit in it, and like phone charger screws, so I figured one of them might be in there, but we never could find one. Spent a little bit of time out there. I fell asleep. I fell asleep, Ashley fell asleep on the couch. Chris ended up, when I woke up that morning, he wasn't there, and I asked Jasmine, like, "When the hell did Chris go?" She goes, "Oh, he left." I'm like, "Where the fuck did he go?" Then he ended up being, what's that town over?
Which way?
If you go up the highway, if you're coming from, where the trailer park's at, where the orange cones are, if you get, instead of turning and going off to get to the trailer park, he goes up straight.
Rocco.
Brooke. He was at his aunt's or something like that, I want to say. Mm-hmm. And every time I asked him to send me an address, but he never would. He's like, "Man, this is my family's house. I can't have people over like that." And I didn't understand why he would bring me all the way out here and have me stay, but then leave the next morning. And I had to wait for him to get all the way back to his mom's house so I could go over there again and get a hold of him. He has my pants, and I've already paid him for the tattoo, which was I have a $200 pair of Rock Revival jeans I let him have, and he said he's going to finish my hand, but he never did. I talked to him today, and he said he was down south.
Okay.
Okay, notice how he says that, he did all that running around, picked up Chris, they go to Jasmine's, all that BS about supposedly getting a tattoo. And then Ashley falls asleep on the couch, and they stay there. And then the next morning he wakes up and Chris is gone. And when he reaches out to Chris claims that he's at the other town over and that he's at his aunt's house, and Garrett can't come there because he can't have company there like that. Now, it's been said that at some point during that evening on Wednesday, the 27th, Garrett had kind of conveyed to him what he was planning to do to Nicole. And Chris really didn't want anything to do with it. So that's why when everyone woke up Thursday morning, Chris was gone and made it a point to say that he was somewhere where he couldn't have company. However, again, let me reiterate, Garrett had no car to go pick anybody up or go meet anybody or anything like that. So all of that, as far as Garrett coming here, picking Chris up, taking Chris to Jasmine's, that's all BS. Garrett was picked up at the hotel room by one of his friends, and that friend took him and Ashley out there to Kentalnd and dropped them off on Wednesday, the 27th, at Jasmine's trailer. Chris was already there.
Who's one of your, how many, like, you say lone wolf, like, who's like a really good close friend to you?
My girlfriend, Ashley.
Okay.
That's about it.
How about a guy that you just like, you've been riding with ever since you might have been young or something like that? I mean, everyone, might be lone wolf, but they
Jimmy
always got...
Snowburger. I mean, this is just based off of what my mom...
No, I know, but I'm saying
Jimmy Snowburger's my only guy friend, guy-wise. I mean, I have acquaintances, but I don't, considering close friend, like you just asked Jimmy Snowburger, we've been friends since I... Shit, we used to ride dirt bikes together. His mom used to change my diapers, and my mom used to change his diapers.
Where does he live?
Delphi.
Delphi.
There's a karate dojo off the same road he lives in. It's called Snows, and it's actually his grandpa that has it.
What's the last time you saw him?
Last time I saw him, I see him about every week.
Okay.
I'd say a couple weeks ago, something like that.
Do you know his phone number by chance?
765
Yeah.
479
Mm-hmm.
475. What is it? It's 479 or 497-6053. I want to say. I mean, I can get it if you guys will know.
Yeah, I'm just asking. Yeah. He thought it's 479 or
497-6053. No, 709. That's what it is. Yeah, 709. 479 7093.
and last name again?
Snowburger.
Just like snow and then just like
Yeah,
hamburger?
Berger. And there's a junior and senior. He's junior.
Okay, good enough. Okay, so who all was at Jasmine's trailer that night, on Wednesday night?
Me, Ashley, Jasmine, Chris, and fuck was her name? Jasmine had some girl come over there. She was a lesbian chick. She drove a red Monte Carlo. I want to say Chrissy or something like that. And she took Jasmine to town to get cigarettes, and then came back, and then she left. But she was a lesbian. I knew that. She lived in Francisville or Monon, one of the two.
Any other females?
Not that I know of.
Okay, any other girls with you?
No, just Ashley.
Okay, yeah, we're just getting some information that there was another female with you. So,
I didn't have anybody else with me. How things with me and Ashley have been going pretty good. Like a month ago, me and her got into a huge fight, and I ended up sleeping around on her, and she fucking really hurt her feelings.
Who else was involved? You say you slept around. I know you probably don't want to get into it, but who was the other girl?
Talitha Beckley.
Anyone else?
That's it.
who's this girl? I'm trying to, who's that girl?
Nicole. She used to date my buddy Caleb Belford. I used to hang out with her. I haven't seen her for a couple of weeks, though. We got arrested in Lafayette together like a month and a half ago. And I was trying to get her, like, take her to rehab and stuff, because she's a heroin addict. And she's really a sweet girl. She's trying to get her kids back and everything.
Okay. And who did she say she was?
Caleb Alford.
Last name again?
Alford, A-L-F-O-R-D.
Okay, so when was the last time you seen Nicole?
I see Nicole was at her friend Terry's house. This has been like 2 weeks ago. She bounces around, and when she gets dope sick, you never know where she's at. She won't ever answer the phone. I tried to get a hold of her for a few days, and I ended up going down to my friend Jason's, and she was there. She stayed at the trailer behind him, and her friend Terry Smothers' house.
Town's that
in Delphi.
Is that, I'm not real familiar with it. Is that close to Brookston area?
It's more closer to Monticello, off the highway.
Okay.
Brookston's kind of, what's that? Brookston would be east of where this is from.
Garrett, I need you to be honest with me, brother, okay? We're talking about something that's very serious. And you willing to talk with me from this point forward will make a dramatic impact on the rest of your life. That's how serious.
What's going on here?
So, when was the last time? Let's just stick with being truthful, okay? And then after that, we can deal with anything else, but you gotta be truthful. And I know you're not being truthful about the last time you seen Nicole.
I guess what makes me nervous is that when I came up here, Nicole was with Chris. And when I come back up here to drop the car off that I was told to bring back up here, because she sold that car a couple weeks ago, or she didn't sell the car, she got some dope for the car, and she gave him a title. And
Who's he?
he goes by the name of King. I don't know what his last name is. He's a guy from I'm not trying to sound right, he's a nigger from Lafayette. And
Okay. So
Oh.
just to stop here.
Oh.
So all of this is lies. So he says, when I came back up here, and first of all, there was no coming back up here. He was dropped off there on Wednesday on the 27th. He didn't leave. He spent the night. And the next morning, he got in the car with Mikey Hiddle to go to Jason Palladino's to get meth. But now he's saying he was up there on Monday or Tuesday, took Chris to go get tattoo stuff, took Chris somewhere, and then him and Ashley went back home. And when he went back out there to Kentalnd, Nicole was there with Chris. That's a lie. Nicole was never with Chris. Now he's changing it up and saying, well, Nicole sold her car to, or gave her title to, this guy named King. So from what I've been able to track down, King was a dealer who typically dealt selling heroin, and he was from Chicago. At this point in time, he was living in Lafayette. And as much as Garrett wants to distance himself from King, as we go on, you're going to hear Garrett is able to literally give you exact directions to King's house. But Nicole did not turn over her title or sell her car to King for money, for drugs, or whatever Garrett is saying here. Nicole did that with someone else by the name of Chris Spencer to bail Garrett out of jail. When Garrett and Nicole got arrested on March 14th by Lafayette Police Department in Ray's car, that is when Nicole used the title or her vehicle to raise money to get Garrett out of jail. So all of this up to this point is BS. But he's very good at it just all like slips off of his lips. But if you didn't know different, you wouldn't know different. You're just listening to what he says, just like the detective is.
by nigger, I mean he sells heroin, which, you know, heroin fucking, any drugs kill people, but heroin, like, I don't know, I guess it's a whole different type of level, you know, when people, what it does to people, what people will do for it, I guess. But when she was up here with me, and the reason I'm not trying.
Notice he just said, accidentally, I'm sure, when she was up here with me. I don't know if that means he's implying or accidentally said she was up here with me in Kentalnd at another time or that specific time. But up to this point, he's acting as if he hadn't heard from Nicole in weeks.
To lie to you about bullshit you, but it's fucking, I don't know what the fuck's going on. He just showed me her mugshot. That kind of scared me. Did something happen to her?
Yes, but at the same time, I'm waiting for you to start being truthful first.
When she was up here with me, we were at the trailer park, and she rode up with me and Ashley, and I used to, like, I dated her for a little bit, and I mean, I love the girl. She's a fucking sweetheart, but I can't be around that heroin. And Ashley's no better. She's a meth addict. I guess, I don't know, I got a big heart and I try to help people, but when she came up here, I left, went and got cigarettes, came back, and she said that she was going with Chris. And when I woke up that one morning, when I went to bed, she was still there. When I woke up, her and Chris were gone. And when I went to see Chris, I was like, where'd Nicole go? And he said that she had somebody come pick her up because she wanted to get high. And I don't want to get anybody in trouble or anything, but if, you know, if something did happen to her, I don't want to withhold any information. I mean, I'm trying to wrap my head around this whole situation.
But this is the thing. You are. We've been working a case with Nicole, okay, for the last few days. Everybody from the local to the federal level. Okay? You're sitting here for a reason.
I don't know why I'm sitting here.
Because you're right in the center of it.
How?
You're right in the center of it. You were last seen with Nicole.
Yeah, I was last seen with Nicole, but I wouldn't have. What happened to her?
Listen,
I'm asking you.
I think you're a good guy, okay? And for real, look at me. I think you're a good guy. And I think she is a sweetheart. A lot of people say she is. But I think maybe emotions got the best of, and they get the best of all of us, right? Sometimes, you know what I mean? Right? So, and like Detective Rose said, I mean, what happens right now can drastically change the rest of your life, okay? I mean, it can help you, or it can go the other way. And if your emotions got the best of you, I mean, we can't change that now. All we can do is tell the truth, right? I mean, she's a sweetheart. She got kids, right?
Yeah, she has.
She's someone's mother.
She has. I know she has Corbin, and she has another son, and she has a daughter too.
So she's someone's mom, I mean.
Okay, right there. Nicole doesn't have a daughter. She has 2 little boys. So he loves the girl to death. He's trying to help her and yada, yada, yada. But come on now. He doesn't even know what children she has. Ridiculous.
If something happened to your mom, would you want someone to be truthful?
Yeah, I would, but
Yeah.
I didn't hurt her.
Nicole was hurt. Okay?
That's what I'm gathering from this.
Just come clean.
I had nothing to do.
What? The Scion. Tell me about the Scion. The car that you were just taking in.
That's Nicole's car. When we went to Lafayette a few weeks ago, she got a bag of dope from this guy named King.
Mm-hmm.
When she got the front, she gave him the title of her car. And when Chris said that she had somebody come pick her up, to my knowledge, that's who I thought would have came to pick her up. So I went home. And I was talking to King over the few days that I was talking to him. He said that he sent Nicole to rehab.
The drug dealer sent his customer to rehab.
That's what I thought too. However, apparently, according to somebody, this guy, King, and this girl named Sheena from Monticello, King's from Lafayette, Sheena Cottrell's from Monticello, said that Nicole and Sheena and King, and this came from King's mouth, that they had something to do with or no information about the 2 girls in Delphi that got killed, and that somebody said something or they were at risk of getting in trouble, which I don't understand why you would withhold that type of information about those 2 little girls getting killed, because that killed the whole town of Delphi. I remember when it happened. I woke up that morning and I looked on the news and my mom was like, Garrett, we need to go to the church. And I was like, why? And my mom was like, because those little girls' moms had, their mom is passed, well, their mom was passed away, but I think it was her aunt that raised them. And my mom used to work with her dad or her uncle out at Indiana Packers with them. So we went to the church and a few of the family members were there and we prayed with them and shit. I mean, it was just, it's what is that word? What we're willing to see, what that's like a community when they pull together to like, I guess, give the other people shoulder to cry on,
And I understand, and that was a tragic event down there. That's going to take a long time for the town to get over. In terms of the Scion, why do you have it?
I have the car because when I came up here, she left, so to my knowledge, she went back to Lafayette. I've been trying to get a hold of her. Her number is it's on. If you put text now on that thing, I could log into mine and give it to you, but I'm not sure what it is right off the head. But it's under Chloe. It's CHLOE Higgs, and it's a 27 or a 28 number. I can't remember what. I think it's a 27, but it's 765 area.
So where's your phone at?
My phone is in the car.
Oh, okay. What about your other phone that you would use the text? Now I bet.
My girlfriend has it.
He just,
So we can maybe find out that way.
so
Why
he
did you get a
just,
new phone?
I got that because my phone is it's a boost mode.
so he just said Nicole's phone number is in the phone that he left at Jeff's, which he excludes that. He just says, well, my girlfriend has it. Only because he knew that it was left there, because he's not going to tell the police that his friend pulled a gun on him and made him leave the property. But he said that Nicole's phone number was in that phone under the name Chloe Higgs. I'll back it up just a little bit.
Yeah.
That's what I thought too. However, apparently, according to somebody, this guy, King, and this girl named Sheena from Monticello, King's from Lafayette, Sheena Cottrell's from Monticello, said that Nicole and Sheena and King, and this came from King's mouth, that they had something to do with or no information about the 2 girls in Delphi that got killed, and that somebody said something or they were at risk of getting in trouble, which I don't understand why you would withhold that type of information about those 2 little girls getting killed, because that killed the whole town of Delphi. I remember when it happened.
So, for those of you who are familiar with Open Secrets, let's just go back. And this is how all of this crap weaves together. If you remember correctly, he went back on Open Secrets and said that Nick Edwards and Sheena Cottrell had information and had watched or knew of a video about Delphi, which is an absolute lie, but he says it and everybody was up in arms over it. Sheena Cottrell was also a girlfriend of Jason Palladino's. So now he's throwing her name. Now you have to remember this interview took place before Open Secrets ever came about. But it's the name dropping that he does nonstop to implicate people, thinking that, well, if he has information or fingers to point in the Delphi murders, then that might give him some leverage. Because he does not only do it here, he does it in the Open Secret videos, he has done it in his chirp messages, and he has done it in written letters. He is pointing the finger at anyone and everyone that he can to direct the focus off of him and like, well, like right here, what is the leverage that he thinks that he's going to gain? That they're going to just flip the page and stop questioning him about Nicole and pick up this whole theory of his that he knows people who might have information about Delphi. He is the epitome of a narcissistic, habitual, psychopathical liar. He is, if he hadn't been caught, we would have had real problems. Yes, Jennifer, yes, absolutely. He's trying to use Delphi to get a plea. That's what he's always done. He's always tried to point the finger and blame someone to get a plea or to take the blame off of him. I don't know if it's a subconscious thing that he does, like he feels better about himself by being able to throw someone else under the bus, either involved in the same thing that he did, like, well, they did it too, or well, I know this and they were involved with that. That's what he does. But he's acting like some girl named Sheena. He knows all too good and well who Sheena Cottrell is. Trust me. Sheena Cottrell dated Jason Palladino for a long time. He himself was involved with Sheena Cottrell. So all of this crap that he's talking like he doesn't know these people or he's trying to keep at arm's length, it's not true.
Happened. I woke up that morning and I looked on the news and my mom was like, Garrett, we need to go to the church. And I was like, why? And my mom was like, because those little girls, their mom was passed away, but I think it was her aunt that raised them. And my mom used to work with her dad or her uncle out at Indian Packers with them. So we went to the church and a few of the family members were there and we prayed with them and shit. I mean, it was just, it's what is that word? What we're wanting to see, what that's like a community when they pull together to like, I guess, give the other people shoulder to cry on,
And I understand, and that was a tragic event down there. That's going to take a long time for the town to get over. In terms of the Scion, why do you have it?
I have the car because when I came up here, she left. So to my knowledge, she went back to Lafayette. I've been trying to get a hold of her. Her number is it's on. If you put text now on that thing, I could log into mine and give it to you, but I'm not sure what it is right off head. But it's under Chloe. It's CHLOE Higgs, and it's a 27 or a 28 number. I can't remember what. I think it's a 27, but it's 765 area.
So where's your phone at?
My phone is in the car.
Oh, okay. What about your other phone that you would use the text now app at?
My girlfriend has it.
So we can maybe find out that way.
Why did you get a new phone?
I got that because my phone is it's a Boost mobile phone, but They used to be my mom's, and she reported hers lost. So the SIM card on it, like if you put a SIM card in it, I'll lock it out. And I bought that phone yesterday, so I had a phone.
So why again did you get a new phone?
My old phone, I have a Samsung Galaxy. It's like the one I have. My mom reported it lost. Or it's when you report it, it's reported lost or stolen. So when you stick a SIM card in it, it'll lock it.
Why didn't you just read?
So it don't work.
You can't do it like that. I don't know my mom's information.
So it don't work.
No, it doesn't work. It works off Wi-Fi.
So why does your girlfriend have it?
It works off internet, like Messenger and the text now app. But you can't put a SIM card in it and have service.
What was the carrier, like Verizon, Sprint, ETT, do you remember?
Boost.
Boost, okay.
Okay, so again, you still never really told me why you have the cards. She gave the title to King. Why?
She gave the title. She gave him the title. She still had the She still had the book and everything. It's still in my glove box. I haven't touched it, but when I took the car because Chris is like, oh, well, she got a ride with somebody, and the one place she was living at was Lafayette, where she was living on 600 at my friend Russell's house. I'm not sure to drive.
Do you like a drink?
Okay. Real quick, let me intervene here real quick. Just to break up this video. So we're at 46:35. He just said Nicole was living in Lafayette or at his friend's Russell's house. Now, if you remember all the way back when I did the first timeline video, and when I went over the police report where Garrett and Nicole and a stout boy were pulled over in Ray's vehicle, and there's a question as to which stout boy it was. So I wanted to pull up because just to give you guys a visual on top of the videos that I've shared. So this is real quick. Can you guys see my mouse on here, or is that hidden to you? Can you just, Amber, can you see my mouse moving or no?
Not your mouse.
Okay. Huh?
No, not your mouse.
You can see my mouse? You can see my mouse? Okay, Jennifer says she thinks it's hidden. Okay. So if you look at this map really quick. So do you see the red box there where it says Stout Home? And right in front of that is the road 600. So yes, Russell Stout, Toby. Share. So can you guys see the map that I have up, Amber?
Yes, we can see the map.
Okay. So the red box says Stout Home. That's where Russell Stout lived. Directly behind it, you see Palladino's 6045. That is Jason Palladino's house. And then you see behind it, second trailer. Those are the two trailers on Hodges Drive. So to the left of the red box where it says Stout Home, to the left, that road right there is North Hodges Drive. They're all living at Palladino's 6045 and at that second trailer. Russell Stout lived in the front where his home faced the road 600. So when he's saying that Nicole was at his friend's Russell's house, during this time, that's not true. Garrett took Nicole over to Palladino's, and she knew Terry. What is his last name? There's a guy named Terry who lives in this second trailer behind Palladino's. Nicole knew Terry, who lived in that second trailer, and that's where Nicole started to stay. So all of them were staying right here on this property off of Hodges Drive, and Russell Stout's home was here in the front. In my video that I had posted about Hodges Drive, you're going to see as I pull in, you're going to see that burgundy red, like it looks like a brand new building. It's not really a barn, but it's not really a house. Well, the property that used to be there where Stout lived, that's within this red box, the original trailer and stuff was removed, and they had a new home built. And that new home is that burgundy building that you see in that Hodges Drive video that I shot passing Jason Palladino's trailer. So I just wanted to take a quick minute to show you guys that. Toby says Russell Stout could have thrown a rock at Palladino's. Yes, it's that close. Yes, Terry. There it is. Thank you, Toby. Terry Smothers. Terry Smothers also lived in the second trailer, and you're going to hear more about him throughout the interviews, but obviously not because he was ever interviewed in this case or ever called in to testify in Ashley's trial. God forbid there be any witnesses called by the defense. So he's someone else that we're going to get into down the road. But I just kind of wanted to give you guys a visual. And this 60, if you look back up here behind the second trailer, that 6067 Hodges Drive, the reason that's important to note, one, is because there is another Cottrell who resides at that property, not related to Sheena Cottrell, if you can believe that, but there's no relation. But in Talitha Beckley's interrogation video, she gives the address of 6045 Hodges Drive as her address. Then in her deposition, later, months later, she gives the address of 6067 Hodges Drive. So that's why 6067 Hodges Drive became important, and I had to find out who lived there, and apparently it is a woman with the last name of Cottrell, no relation to Sheena Cottrell. So we're going to go back to the video.
I had to chew in when I got pulled out of the car and I spit it out. I got a drink downstairs and I'll be all right. But the reason
About your other phone,
back it up just a little bit.
use the text now app that.
my girlfriend has it.
So you.
If something happened to your mom, would you want someone to be truthful?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I didn't hurt her.
Nicole was hurt. Okay.
That's what I'm gathering from this.
Just come clean.
I had nothing.
You what? The Scion. Tell me about the Scion. The car that you were just taking in.
That's Nicole's car. When we went to Lafayette a few weeks ago, she got a bag of dope from this guy named King.
Mm-hmm.
When she got the front, she gave him the title of her car. And when she said, when Chris said that she had somebody come pick her up, to my knowledge, that's who I thought would have came to pick her up. So I went home, and I was talking to King over the few days that I was talking to him. He said that he sent Nicole to rehab.
The drug dealer sent his customer to rehab.
That's what I thought too. However, apparently, according to somebody, this guy, King, and this girl named Sheena from Monticello, King's from Lafayette, Sheena Cottrell's from Monticello, said that Nicole and Sheena and King and this came from King's mouth, that they had something to do with or no information about the 2 girls in Delphi that got killed, and that somebody said something or they were at risk of getting in trouble, which I don't understand why you would withhold that type of information about those 2 little girls getting killed, because that killed the whole town of Delphi. I remember when it happened. I woke up that morning and I looked on the news and my mom was like, Garrett, we need to go to the church. And I was like, why? And my mom was like, because those little girls' mom their mom has passed, their mom was passed away, but I think it was her aunt that raised them. And my mom used to work with her dad or her uncle out at Indiana Packers with them. So we went to the church and a few of the family members were there and we prayed with them and shit. I mean, it was just, it's what is that word? What we're wanting to see, what that's like a community when they pull together to like, I guess, give the other people shoulder to cry on,
And I understand, and that was a tragic event down there. That's going to take a long time for the town to get over. In terms of the Scion, why do you have it?
I have the car because when I came up here, she left. So to my knowledge, she went back to Lafayette. I've been trying to get a hold of her. Her number is it's on. If you put text now on that thing, I could log into mine and give it to you. But I'm not sure what it is right off head. But it's under Chloe. It's CHLOE Higgs, and it's a 27 or a 28 number. I can't remember what. I think it's a 27, but it's 765 area.
So where's your phone at?
My phone is in the car.
Oh, okay. What about your other phone that you would use the text now app at?
My girlfriend has it.
So we can maybe find out that way.
Why did you get a new phone?
I got that because my phone is it's a Boost mobile phone, but it used to be my mom's, and she reported hers lost. So the SIM card on it, like if you put a SIM card in it, it'll lock it out. And I bought that phone yesterday, so I had a phone.
So why again did you get a new phone?
My old phone, I have a Samsung Galaxy. It's like the one I have. My mom reported it lost, or it's when you report it, it's reported lost or stolen. So when you stick a SIM card in it, it'll lock it.
Right, why didn't you just read?
So it don't work.
You can't do it like that. I don't know my mom's information.
So it don't work.
No, it doesn't work. It works off Wi-Fi.
So why does your girlfriend have it?
It works off internet, like Messenger and the text now app. But you can't put a SIM card in it and it can have service.
What was the carrier, like Verizon, Sprint, ETT, do you remember?
Boost.
Boost.
Okay, so again, you still never really told me why you have the cars. She gave the title to King. Why?
She gave the title. She gave him the title. She still had the She still had the book and everything. It's still in the glove box. I haven't touched it, but when I took the car because Chris is like, oh, well, she got a ride from somebody, and the one place she was living at was Lafayette, where she was living on 600 at my friend Russell's house. I'm not sure to drive.
Do you like a drink?
I had to chew in when I got pulled out of the car and I spit it out. I got a drink downstairs and I'll be all right. But the reason I had the car is because when he said she got a ride, I thought the only place she went was Lafayette, so I went look for her. Me and Ashley looked for her for a couple of days, and I haven't been able to get a hold of her. I've been trying to blow her phone up the whole time. I cannot get a hold of her. But that's honestly why I have the car. I mean, and when he called me, he said, get the car and take it up there and exchange it. I'm like, what? Why am I doing this? He's like, just listen to me. And when you guys pull in, my other side is wall in a minute. I'm not primarily into a few select people from here, and I'm getting myself into a situation I don't know what the fuck's going on.
So King, the dealer, sent you up here.
Yeah.
And who's King talking with?
Talking with me.
Who are you talking with to swap the car with?
Mike?
What?
I'm not sure what the last name is. It starts with the H.
How long do you know that guy?
I met him when I met him when I came up here with Chris, but it was like, hey, hello, how you doing type thing. He drives a Pontiac, and we were talking about, he said he buys and sells cars when I was up here, and I talked to a couple people that I know, like my dad, he buys and sells equipment and shit, so I gave him my dad's number, and I called him and gave him my number today, and then my buddy's like, oh, well, call him and see if you can get rid of this car. And I called him and I was like, hey, but the whole time I'm thinking is this sign's not in my name, and I don't know what the fuck's going on, and he can sign the title, but I don't have the title in the car.
So how are you gonna swap it?
Mike was just gonna swap it and give me another vehicle.
Without the title?
Yeah, as far as I know.
Do you think that's on the up and up?
Not really, but I mean, I don't really like talking to that King guy, because I mean, shit kind of scares me. Drug dealers kind of scare me.
And where's he live? Where's King live?
In the apartment complex. I'm not sure which apartment, but at a levee in Lafayette, there's an apartment complex behind the liquor store. You have to get there. If you come in on 40 Route 3, which is called River Road, you turn left by 9 Irish Brothers. You turn left by 9 Irish Brothers, you go down, and then you pass the movie theater on the right, and there'll be a jail record store. Right before the jail record store, you can pull in there, you turn left, and there's a one-way coming this way and a one-way coming this way. So you turn on one way that goes into the parking lot, and there'll be a B-dubs and stuff. Right when you hit that parking lot, you turn right and follow that trail all the way back. And I know we always used to park, like you go all the way back to the last building, we used to park right when you see the last building, go like this, and then pull immediately up this way. And when you're sitting in the parking spot, if you look behind you, you can see two yellow, marker things that come out of the ground, and there's an entrance that you have to walk through. There's like 2 dumpsters over by that way too.
So did you go down there at all today?
No.
So when did you actually get the car?
When did I get the car? Mm-hmm. I've had the car. I've had the car since I was up here, because I haven't been able to get a hold of her. I've tried getting a hold of her mom through Facebook. I've tried getting a hold of Sam Bowen, he's from Monticello. I know people that know him, but I don't personally know him myself.
How long have you known Nicole?
I met her in work release in Lafayette. I was there from May until September 1st of 2018. That was the first time I met her. And, we always had, she always looked at me, I always looked at her, and I was trying to stay out of trouble. And the whole time I'm thinking is when you're in work release, you're not supposed to talk to the females. The whole time I'm thinking is, I'm going to end up talking to this girl, and she comes in, I'm going to try talking to her and say, hey, what's up, girl? And then I'm going to get in trouble. So I never really talked to her in work release. And then she dated Caleb Alford, which is my girlfriend's sister's baby daddy. And we were all at Russell's one night, me and Ashley were, and so was Caleb, and Russell was too. And she came down there, and I knew who she was, but I didn't really say much because I didn't want to piss my girlfriend off. And then we started talking and shit, and she gave me her phone number, and we started talking off and on. And we started messing around and stuff, but she took me home, and when this was like probably a month ago, she took me home, dropped me off back at Ashley's, and I hadn't really talked to her. And then when I went down to Terry's that one day, and I stopped at Russell's first, she went there, and I went down to my buddy Jason's, and the guy Terry lives on Jason's property and a trailer behind him. And she came outside, I was like, hey, can we talk? And so we talked for a minute, and Ashley was down at Russell's, and I was like, are you okay? Because I know that she was having a real hard time with me, me not talking to her, because she got really attached to me. And I love the girl to death too, but
Okay. Any questions or any comments about any of that? And how Nicole got really attached to him in that short amount of a time. He just makes himself out to be it's hilarious to me. Yes, share. I was gonna say yes, I can send you this whole one if you need it. So we don't have any questions or anything about any of this? About him saying, him having the car and how he got the car and King sent him back up there to exchange the car. No questions on any of that? Let me unmute you. Sorry, Amber. Amber, you were muted a little bit.
You're
No?
fine. I ran to the bathroom real quick.
Okay. All right, no questions? Okay.
I mean, she's older than I am. I'm a lot younger, and I've been with Ashley for the past 4.5 years, and like I love Nicole. I care about Nicole, but I mean, I love Ashley too. I know that if me and Ashley were ever to break up, I mean, that'd be the hardest thing I've ever had to go through. I mean, we've been through a couple miscarriages together, the whole 9 yards. So I told Nicole that I was coming up here to hang out with Chris and get a couple tattoos done, and she was all for it. And when she seen Ashley, she kind of got, she didn't get upset. She got more like hurt by like seeing me and her, like me hold her hand or whatever in the back seat. And she got over it though when we got there. Like she started loosening up with Chris, and I'm pretty sure they had.
Okay. Now he's making it out like Nicole got in the car with him and Ashley to drive out to Kentalnd to Jasmine's trailer so Garrett could get some tattoos. And Nicole was kind of hurt to see Ashley in the car and Ashley and Garrett hold hands while she rides in the back seat. This is a fabrication, a complete fabrication and a lie. So I mean, and we're not even halfway through this yet, and I just need to point out how this boy lies through his teeth in phenomenal ways. It's crazy.
Sex, but I'm not sure because if I wake up in the morning and him and her are gone, and she took me home, and when this was like probably a month ago, she took me home, dropped me off back at Ashley's, and I hadn't really talked to her. And then when I went down to Terry's that one day, and stopped at Russell's first, she went there, and I went down to my buddy Jason's, and the guy Terry lives on Jason's property, and a trailer behind him, and she came outside, I was like, hey, can we talk? And so we talked for a minute, and Ashley was down at Russell's, and I was like, are you okay? Because I know that she was having a real hard time with me, because me not talking to her, because she got really attached to me. And I love the girl to death too, but I mean, she's older than I am, I'm a lot younger, and I've been with Ashley for the past 4.5 years, and like I love Nicole, I care about Nicole, but I mean, I love Ashley too. I know that if me and Ashley were ever to break up, I mean, that'd be the hardest thing I've ever had to go through. I mean, we've been through a couple miscarriages together, the whole 9 yards. So I told Nicole that I was coming up here to hang out with Chris and get a couple tattoos done, and she was all for it. And when she seen Ashley, she kind of got, she didn't get upset. She got more like hurt by like seeing me and her, like me hold her hand or whatever in the back seat. And she got over it though when we got there. Like she started loosening up with Chris, and I'm pretty sure they had sex, but I'm not sure because if I wake up in the morning and him and her are gone, and I call him later, and he's like, oh yeah, well she left mom's house. I don't know why he would take a random girl to his mom's house if he wasn't hooking up with her.
Okay. All right. Give me a few seconds. I'm gonna get you some water. I got something to drink too.
And I know that Chris's mom, there's a silver 2-door Explorer in the driveway.
That's there, you turn it past Casey's or whatever.
Yeah. Right when you go over the tracks. It's almost to the end of the street.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to fast forward it a little bit. So up to this point, yeah, Nicole wasn't even there on Wednesday. This is all a lie. Everything he's saying is a lie. I mean, but just think about the storytelling that he's doing. So they leave him sit in here for a very long time, to a point where I think he lays his head down. He starts to snore because he's so concerned. And then we get into where he starts to describe what happened to Nicole putting Chris in the picture. And just listen to how he describes this, and listen to the conversation that he describes, what Chris says, what Chris tells him to do, which is all lies, because Chris is not only not there with Nicole on Wednesday. Chris is there on Wednesday, but he's there with Jasmine on Wednesday, the 27th. It is Thursday morning when they wake up that Chris is already gone. But when Garrett returns with Nicole, Chris is not there, but he's saying that he was. That's what we're getting ready to get into now.
Take your hand. I don't think I got the lock. All right, Gary, tell me who this is. This conversation, who's it between?
I think so, yeah. I ain't positive, but well, dude, it says 2 miles northwest of fucking Kentalnd. I just read it again, and that's like fucking right down the road. Like right down the road, it has to be. I figured you were lost or something. Here. Hey, no, do I have to? Should I?
That's why Chris is down south.
Did we not come in here? Did I not come in here and sit here and say, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt? We already know answers.
I don't know if my life's on the line too. That's what
You need to start talking, because the rest of this video, the audio recording, is you with the body.
I didn't have no body. No, that's...
Let's play.
A body.
Use the interior of that car. If it was done in the car, I won't use the interior. I'll just use the rest of the shit, you know?
See, I know what was going on. I was not...
You want to keep listening? Because it gets very detailed.
I know.
Then start talking before you hit play again.
When we got there that night...
What night?
When we first got there.
What night?
What day was that? Does it have messenger on it so I can look, so I can be exactly sure?
No. I know answers. I'm still gauging how truthful you're going to be. The next time I catch you in a lie, you can tell the jury that I'll tell them you had no remorse. I gave you chance after chance after chance to say I messed up. I cared for her, and that's why she wasn't thrown somewhere else, because I wanted her to be found. But if you're going to keep playing this game, just be truthful.
Okay, I have to throw in here right now. Detective Rowe just fed him the line because you wanted her to be found. He used that as a technique of trying to bring out Garrett's, empathy for what he had done. You put her where you put her because you wanted her to be found. Now, from here on out, watch how Garett utilizes that sentence and makes it his own. These detectives hand feed him all these bullshit lines. It's so frustrating. Watch how many times Garett says it.
Can I say what I'm going to say, and then you tell me if you think that I'm lying or not?
I just need you to be truthful.
I am.
Are you remorseful?
I am. That's what
Are you remorseful?
I didn't commit this myself.
Okay, are you remorseful?
Yes,
are
I'm
you sorry?
remorseful. Yes.
Okay, then start being truthful. That's it. That's it. Don't worry if I think you're a liar or not. Just be truthful, because that's only going to help you.
What I was going to say was, I didn't kill her myself.
Okay, tell me what happened.
When we were getting our, and what I meant by that is like, I didn't fucking, it wasn't my call, it wasn't my hands doing the fucking, we got up there and we were supposed to do our tattoos and shit. Jasmine, I was sitting on the couch with Nicole, and Chris was there, Ashley was there, a woman by the name of Talitha was there, and that's like my second mom. That's the reason why I didn't bring her name up, because I don't, this isn't her. She had nothing to do with any of it.
Talitha?
Yeah, she had nothing to do with any of it.
White girl?
She's white.
Okay.
I know that's a lot of people say
Keep
it.
going.
Ashley and Nicole started yelling at each other.
Okay. I have to point this out, and I'm going to replay it again because I know I keep stopping it, but I'm sorry. He said they were up there, and a woman by the name of Talitha was there. Now, mind you, we just listened to him tell Detective Rowe at the beginning of this interrogation video that he had been cheating on Ashley with a girl named Talitha Beckley. Now she's a woman by the name of Talitha, as if he doesn't really know her. And two, he reiterates she had nothing to do with any of this. He makes a point to say that. And she's like a second mom to him. Yeah, well, stay tuned.
And a lie, you can tell the jury that I'll tell them you had no remorse. I gave you chance after chance after chance to say I messed up. I cared for her, and that's why she wasn't thrown somewhere else, because I wanted her to be found. But if you're going to keep playing this game, just be truthful.
Can I say what I'm going to say, and then you tell me if you think that I'm lying or not?
I just need you to be truthful.
I am.
Are you remorseful?
I am. That's what
Are you remorseful?
I didn't commit this myself.
Okay, are you remorseful?
Yes,
are
I'm
you sorry?
remorseful. Yes.
Okay, then start being truthful. That's it. That's it. Don't worry if I think you're a liar or not. Just be truthful, because that's only going to help you.
What I was going to say was, I didn't kill her myself.
Okay, tell me what happened.
When we were getting our, and what I meant by that is like, I didn't fucking, it wasn't my call, it wasn't my hands doing the fucking, we got up there and we were supposed to do our tattoos and shit. Jasmine, I was sitting on the couch with Nicole, and Chris was there, Ashley was there, a woman by the name of Talitha was there, and that's like my second mom. That's the reason why I didn't bring her name up, because this isn't her. She had nothing to do with any of it.
Talitha?
She had nothing to do with any of it.
White girl?
She's white.
Okay.
I know that's a lot of people say
Keep
it.
going.
Ashley and Nicole started yelling at each other, and I grabbed Ashley to get her. When I grabbed Ashley, it was because I didn't want them to get into a fight. I care about both of them. When I grabbed Ashley and I pulled her back, Chris put her in a chokehold. And when he put her in a chokehold, I didn't know what to do.
Nicole was in a chokehold.
Yeah, I didn't know what to do. And at that point, my first thought is, what the fuck is going on? Why is this happening? And three is not just why is it happening, but why does this have to be this way? Well, because they started yelling at each other. Chris had dope on him. Jasmine's got a warrant. And when he did that, I mean, I grabbed Ashley and I hugged her as close as I could, and I pulled her and I had my eyes closed. And when I heard her go, and when it was, I opened my eyes, and she was on the floor. And I think it was a tie or a bandana. He was tying around her neck.
Who's he?
Chris.
This is at lot 20, Jasmine's house.
Am I in any trouble? I'll keep going. I will keep going.
I want you to keep going because this is the thing. If you're saying your hands weren't around her that did it, then I would hope that you won't give your side. Because if not, you're there. Does that make sense? I'm not an attorney, but I'm telling you, the truth goes a lot further than if you lie and we discover that you're lying.
Can I ask you this? Will you guys give me the opportunity to work with you to find out where Chris is?
Let's get through the story first.
Okay.
So, and then we'll go to plan B and plan C. So, Chris is there. You're saying his scarf. What did the scarf look like?
It was like a cheetah print, almost. It was like a silk material.
Okay. Where'd that scarf come from?
It was on the lamp. I remember because Ashley asked Jasmine about it a couple hours before because she was like, "Oh, that's real nice. Where'd you get that at?" And Jasmine said that her kids got it for her.
Okay.
And when I go ask, and I opened my eyes because I didn't want to see what the fuck was going on. For all I knew, I was next.
So you're saying he just grabbed her?
He had syringes. He had dope on him.
Okay, guys. So right there, I feel like that's a key important moment where Detective Rowe asks about the scarf. And as we all know, Ashley's DNA was found on the corner of the one end of the scarf, the touch DNA. Detective Rowe asks about the scarf, and Garrett says, yeah, I know about this. I know. He doesn't ask him about it in regards to Nicole. He said, was there a scarf there? And Garrett said, yes, because my girlfriend Ashley liked the scarf, and she asked Jasmine where she got it, and Jasmine said her kids got it for her. Well, when you watch Jasmine's interrogation video, they asked Jasmine where the scarf came from that was in her trailer, and she confirms that, well, my kids got it for me. So that right there tells me that at some point, Ashley more than likely touched the scarf, even though, even to this day, she says she doesn't remember, and she's not going to say that she did if she doesn't remember, but she doesn't remember. But if it was significant enough that she said, hey, this is pretty, where did you get it? The odds are is that she touched the scarf, looked at it, or felt it with her fingers, something, because it was sitting on the table right next to the couch where she slept and where she had been sitting most of the day.
And also, I can say from knowing Ashley, if she sees something sitting down somewhere, 9 times out of 10, if she likes it, she's probably going to pick it up and ask you where you got it. So she can try to find something like it, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, she's adamant that she doesn't remember, which that even more so is more truth telling than not, because somebody who has the opportunity to say, hey, oh yeah, I picked it up. I put it on. No, she's like, I honestly don't remember. But the fact that that's said, I just wanted to pause it and emphasize that because I feel it's important.
No, it doesn't work. It works off Wi-Fi.
So why does your girlfriend have it?
It works off internet.
Oh no. Lord, I'm sorry, y'all.
This way to get to the door of the trailer.
Okay, so take me from...
Sorry, guys.
Am I in any trouble? I'll keep going. I will keep going.
I want you to keep going because this is the thing. If you're saying your hands weren't around her that did it, then I would hope that you won't give your side. Because if not, you're there. Does that make sense? I'm not an attorney, but I'm telling you, the truth goes a lot further than if you lie and we discover that you're lying.
Can I ask you this? Will you guys give me the opportunity to work with you to find out where Chris is?
Let's get through the story first.
Okay.
So, and then we'll go to plan B and plan C. So, Chris is there. You're saying a scarf. What did the scarf look like?
It was like a cheetah print, almost. It was like a silk material.
Okay. Where'd that scarf come from?
It was on the lamp. I remember because Ashley asked Jasmine about it a couple hours before because she was like, "Oh, that's real nice. Where'd you get that at?" And Jasmine said that her kids got it for her.
Okay.
And when I let go of Ashley, I opened my eyes because I didn't want to see what the fuck was going on. For all I knew, I was next.
So you're saying he just grabbed her?
He had syringes. He had dope on him, and I use it every once in a while, but I haven't for a few days. There's a pipe in the car, and
Don't worry about that. I get it. Drug use goes in and out of the house. Okay. But he grabs her literally like this.
When he grabbed her like this.
Okay. What? To separate them?
I think that's what his intention was. That was what my intention was because I grabbed Ashley. I mean, that's from Ashley's fingernail right there.
Okay.
When I grabbed her, so was that bruise. When I grabbed Ashley, she was trying to get away from me, and I had her. When I grabbed Ashley, I had her underneath her arms, and she put her hands up like this. I'm like, "Babe, stop!" Because I don't want anybody to get hurt. I don't want anybody to fight, and not to mention, I don't want the cops coming there because I don't want to get busted with dope. Whether if it's someone else's pocket, that's all of us going to get in trouble.
I get it.
When he grabbed Nicole up, at first it looked like he was trying to put her in a full Nelson, like put her arms behind his head, but when he grabbed her, he went like this, and he just started wrapping up, and I closed my eyes, and the next thing I know, she was gone.
So what's that mean? She was still standing. She was on the ground.
She was on the floor. She was on the floor behind the. Okay, can I stand up?
Yeah.
If you're standing in the kitchen when you go in the doorway, there's island right here. There's a love seat kind of right here, and then there's a full on a couch right here in front of you. It happened over here behind the love seat. And when they went from the counter, I missed this, but they went from the counter, and I don't really know if she tried to put a fire on it. I heard like kind of a struggle, and they fell on a tote in the living room behind the couch. And when I opened up my eyes, she was tying that scarf around her neck, and I was trying to clean out my car, and I had all this, like, I do a bunch of work, like side work and shit, and I had like 2 new rolls of like red double-sided tape for my taillight. It was on Nicole's car because when I was dating Nicole, she got rear-ended, and that's what happened. The bumper was already fucked up, but the taillight was busted, and I put double-sided tape on my taillight, and it's red tape, and it was in the trailer, like not inside the house, but in the back of it when you first walk in the door. Because when you open up, there's a wooden door here. It looks like it's going to open. If you go there's a window that's like broke out on the bottom, and there's a screen that kind of floats in the air. You have to crawl, like go under through that way. The front door of the house it looks like if you pull in, it looks like nobody lives there because she has a warrant and shit. The front door is padlocked from the outside. You have to go through the back door. When you go underneath that when you crawl underneath that and you step in, you got to go to this way to get to the door of the trailer.
Okay, so take me from where she was laying by the sofa or the love seat, and he was putting a scarf around her neck. What was the point in that? Was she still alive?
I think so. She was unconscious. I don't know. I don't know if she was breathing or not.
Was she making noise?
No.
Okay, so you don't know, but she wasn't making noise.
I don't know. I've seen movies and stuff. I don't know if somebody's unconscious if they're still breathing. If they go, because I don't know. I don't know if her throat was.
So you heard her do that?
Yeah, I heard her do that when he was still choking.
Okay, so
when he took the scarf, she didn't make any noise. When he tied that scarf, she made no noise at all.
Okay, take me from there.
He got a blanket from outside of the trailer, like in the back part.
Where at?
Where you go in at. There's a bunch of old clothes and boxes and shit.
Literally within that like little porch thing of the trailer, not off property.
No,
it's within the trailer.
It's within the trailer. When you go through that window, there's shit everywhere. Fucking shoe boxes, broken plastic. Mm-hmm. He went outside there, grabbed a blanket, and he rolled her up in it.
What color?
Gray.
Okay.
When he rolled her up in that blanket, and he rolled her up, and then me and Ashley went in the bedroom and sat down, and I hear plastic crackling and something like duct tape being pulled, and then he yelled and he said, "Where's the keys?" I said, "To what?" And he said, "Never mind, because the keys were on the counter to her car." I mean, he left. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I don't know if he was coming back or not. And when he came back, I got all my clothes, except for Ashley's backpack still at the trailer. It's got my grandma's engagement ring that she gave me to give to her that passed away. My grandma just passed away like 2 months ago. I went and
My bad, Jennifer. Sorry, guys. I was muted and I was talking my head off. No, I was pointing out that Garrett was. I'm sorry. Garrett was basically repeating conversations that him and Chris had that never happened throughout him standing up and demonstrating what Chris did. And then he said, Chris is like, "Where's the keys?" And Garrett says, "Where's the keys to what?" And he goes, "Never mind, they were on the counter." All of that never happened because Chris wasn't even there. So, I mean, all of this is craziness. But as a detective who's hearing it for the first time, he has, all he's doing is taking it all in. And he's probably believing that it was actually Chris who was there doing all of this if he was to believe Garrett. Yeah, I paused the video too, guys. I'm learning to multitask in here, sorry. But Ashley has said that when she watched this for the first time because it was in her discovery, that this version right here that Garrett is telling amongst the other however many versions he tells, but what he is describing happened that he's claiming Chris did, she said is exactly what happened, except that it was Garrett who did it. That Garrett did everything that he's claiming Chris did himself. And that's why it is so easily rolling off the tongue to explain what happened, is because he's explaining it just in a third person sense. It is so hard to listen to. You're right. It is.
put her arms behind his head, but when he grabbed her, he went like this, and he just started wrapping up, and I closed my eyes. And the next thing I know, she was gone.
So what's that mean? She was still standing? She was on the ground?
She was on the floor. She was on the floor behind the... Okay, can I stand up?
Yeah.
If you're standing in the kitchen when you go in the doorway, there's island right here, there's a love seat kind of right here, and then there's a full on a couch right here in front of you. It happened over here behind the love seat. And when they went from the counter I missed this, but they went from the counter, and I don't really know if she tried to put a file on it. I heard like kind of a struggle, and they fell on a tote in the living room behind the couch. And when I opened up my eyes, she was tying that scarf around her neck, and I was trying to clean out my car, and I had all this, like, I do a bunch of work, like side work and shit, and
Clean out his
I had
car? He doesn't even have a car.
like two
He's talking
new rolls of
about-
like red double-sided tape for my taillight. It was on Nicole's car, because when I was dating Nicole, she got rear-ended, and that's what happened. The bumper was already fucked up, but the taillight was busted. And I put double-sided tape on my taillight, and it's red tape. And it was in the trailer, like not inside the house, but in the back of it when you first walk in the door. Because when you open up, there's a wooden door here. It looks like it's going to open. If you go there, there's a window that's like broke out on the bottom, and there's a screen that kind of floats in the air. You have to crawl, like go under through that way. The front door of the house it looks like, if you pull in, it looks like nobody lives there, because she has a warrant and shit. The front door is padlocked from the outside. You have to go through the back door. When you go underneath that one thing, when you crawl underneath that and you step in, you got to go to this way to get to the door of the trailer.
Okay, so take me from where she was laying by the sofa or the love seat, and he was putting a scarf around her neck. What was the point in that? Was she still alive?
I think so. She was unconscious. I don't know. I don't know if she was breathing or not.
Was she making noise?
No.
Okay, so you don't know, but she wasn't making noise.
I don't see when. I don't know. I've seen movies and stuff. I don't know if somebody's unconscious if they're still breathing. If they go, because I don't know. I don't know if her throat was.
So you heard her do that?
Yeah, I heard her do that when he was still choking.
Okay, so
when he took the scarf, she didn't make any noise. When he tied that scarf, she made no noise at all.
Okay, take me from there.
He got a blanket from outside of the trailer, like in the back part.
Where at?
Where you go in at. There's a bunch of old clothes and boxes and shit.
Literally within that like little porch thing of the trailer, not off property.
No,
it's within the trailer.
It's within the trailer. When you go through that window, there's shit everywhere. Fucking shoe boxes, broken plastic. Mm-hmm. He went outside there, grabbed a blanket, and he rolled her up in it.
What color?
Gray.
Okay.
When he rolled her up in that blanket, and he rolled her up, and then me and Ashley went in the bedroom and sat down, and I hear plastic crackling and almost like duct tape being pulled, and then he yelled and he said, "Where's the keys?" I said, "To what?" And he said, "Never mind, because the keys were on the counter to her car." And when he left, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I don't know if he was coming back or not. And when he came back, I got all my clothes, except for Ashley's backpack still at the trailer. It's got my grandma's engagement ring that she gave me to give to her that passed away. My grandma just passed away like 2 months ago. I went inside to grab all the clothes and stuff and put them in the car. And I took Chris back to his mom's, and I got the fuck out of here. And I should have told you guys, I should have called and I should have said something.
Okay. So who helped him roll her up and wrap her up and tape her up?
Jasmine, to my knowledge. I was not putting my hands on that whatsoever.
Did you see him wrap anything else around her neck?
No.
Nothing.
Other than the scarf.
Okay. And so, did your car leave or did you take him?
My car left. He left.
The Scion.
Nicole's car left. I did not go with him.
The Scion.
The Scion.
And what time of night was this?
Probably 1, 2, 2:30.
In the morning?
Yeah. It's still dark.
On what night?
See, that's it.
I don't want to get off topic.
No, I'm not going to get off topic, but when I was there, I was high. So it's kind of hard for me to dictate or determine what day
If you
that
don't
was.
know 100%, then let's skip that.
That's the truth.
What time do you return?
He came back, like, it was almost daylight. I mean, people were getting up to go and leaving for work. No, it wasn't necessarily daylight yet, but you could, people in the trailer park were being active. It was still dark, starting their cars, getting ready for work.
So you're saying he's the only one that left?
Yes.
No one else in that car?
Do we play this recording again?
Recording?
No, just, this is what we want you to listen to.
I know, I said that, but I know I was not in that vehicle.
Who's the conversation between?
That's between me and Mike.
Okay. Thanks for listening.
And I said we got
Listen,
lost.
just listen.
I know. I did not say that.
Listen.
Right.
Waiting until I. What?
When I said that, because when he said, when Mike asked me when we were on the phone, he said, was Mathis involved? I said no. Because for all, I don't know if he's, if I say this, and say if I go to, if we went to the witness stand and I said I had nothing to do with it and it was all him, which is the truth, if I say that, I don't know what kind of people he knows. I've known Chris for a couple of years, but I talked to him today and it was an 891 number that called my phone. It's in my call history.
Today?
Yes, he said.
We'll get to that. Let's finish this.
Yeah. Right. That's what's up. Fucking traffic. Keep going, motherfucker.
I watched my ass. There ain't nothing there.
There was no.
I don't fucking have anybody with me to do that shit. I want to make sure everything's fucking legit. Everything gets done, and there ain't no fucking way.
I wash my ass. I don't want anyone else with me. When I do that type of shit, I want to be by myself.
I knew that's what came out of my mouth, but that was bullshit because I don't, Mike.
So you're admitting to doing something that you didn't do?
I'm not admitting to doing something I didn't do. I'm trying to fucking cover my ass and make it look like it was just me because I'm for real. This is the God's honest truth.
So
if you check the back of that car, there was no.
You were trying to put this shit on you because you're afraid of some old doper? And you were putting it on you?
He's affiliated with some kind of fucking, I've had my mom's life threatened several times.
You throw it on him to keep it off of you, I understand, but you taking responsibility for something he did?
I wouldn't throw anything. If I did that, I would admit to it. Because my dad always taught me.
Right there.
I didn't do that though. What I'm saying, I didn't.
You just said you had somebody with you though. You know?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You were mentioning Chris, and then you said, I did it alone. Just listen.
Make sure everything's through. Yeah. Right. That's what's up. Fucking traffic. Keep going, motherfucker.
I watch my ass. There ain't nothing there. I'm a lone wolf, so I don't fucking have anybody with me to do that shit. I want to make sure everything's fucking legit. Everything gets done, and there ain't no fucking way.
Well, you just said you had somebody with you though. You know?
Yeah, that's one of my dirty brothers, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we moved the same. I mean, I wouldn't take anybody. I'm not saying I wouldn't just take anybody. I use my sidekick as a
Right.
basically, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I just fucking. I was like, man, I don't understand that. It was so close, I didn't understand it whatsoever. I was like, that's fucking just dumb. I was asking for it. I don't
know where the fuck I'm at.
Exactly what I figured. You know, I didn't think you knew that.
It was dark, but I
understand. I know.
I took backwards over there.
Okay, I'm gonna give you one last chance, man. Everything is I took back roads. I went by an excavator. That was right there by the road, because we looked at that.
If you weren't there, you wouldn't know that detail.
You were there. This is the thing. It's either you were sorry it happened. I understand if Nicole and your girlfriend got into an argument or got something because it was out of passion. She upset somebody. But at the same time, the person that put her body in there had enough respect for her, they wanted her found. And they put her inside the container. You need to be truthful because it's there. And we're going to just keep working it from this point and find every piece of evidence against you. Just be truthful, and the prosecutor understands that. The family will get some closure. That it was a mistake. If you guys were high, I get it. But to say, I did all these details that only us and the person there knows.
Everybody that was there that night was high. I didn't touch. It was me and Chris in the vehicle. If I'm on my messenger, I can show you voice messages of him saying that your name and whatever is on it.
You just need to be truthful. I've already given you the evidence. You know what I'm saying? And you're not saying anything until I represent it.
Because
So you need to start being truthful.
hear me out. We pulled out of the trailer park that night, and Chris was driving, and we went driving. And when you said that you wanted her body to be found, I did want her body to be found.
I said you wanted her body to be found. I know.
Chris is like, man, he's like, where can I put her without anybody finding her? He's like, I don't want he goes, I don't want my fingerprints to be found or nothing like that. And I said, I don't know, I'm not from here. And the only thing I can think of is I'm trying to make it sound, and I said, when I turned my right, I seen that fucking weeds with that trailer, and I seen that yellow thing over there. And I said, if he doesn't see that thing, there's this right here.
You saw what thing?
That excavator thing.
Okay.
Obviously, if the excavator is right there, this road's being used. So it means somebody is going to come over here.
So you're wanting her to be found.
So when he drug her from the car to the thing, he had me watch. And I can remember when he grabbed her out of the car and took her to that thing, I was standing on the passenger side door when I'm looking, and like the whole time I can see a highway or a roadway going this way to my left, and I can see headlights, and I can hear cars in the distance. I can't tell how far they are, I can't tell where they are, but I can see, I can tell where they are, but I can't tell where they are, like if they're going north, south, east, or west. So the whole time I'm thinking, okay, she's gonna be found, And that's the truth.
So who drove?
Chris drove.
And where were you at?
I was in the passenger seat.
Front?
Yes,
Where was the body at?
in the trunk.
Where did the plastic bags and tape and everything come from?
Chris pulled them out from Jasmine's, because when me and Nicole went, Ashley's middle name was Nicole. When me and Ashley went to the bedroom, I heard plastic. The only thing I can remember trash bags being when Jasmine said, like earlier, she said, I need a trash bag. So Chris had went underneath the kitchen sink and grabbed her a trash bag because she was sweeping up the kitchen floor. That trailer was disgusting.
So everything should have came from within the trailer.
Yes.
Did you have anything in your car that you used?
See, I haven't had that car the whole time. When I got the car today, I got all my clothes and everything.
Was there anything in the car that
I
you
want to say-
grabbed or he grabbed?
I want to say that everything's out of there, but there's a couple trash bags, but the duffel bag is mine and Ashley's clothes.
When you wrapped the body up, did you guys grab anything out of your car to wrap the body up with?
He wrapped the body up at the trailer.
Okay. Was anything taken out of the car to wrap the body up?
I'm aware of that.
Okay. Did you and him carry Nicole out?
No.
Who
He
carried
drug her with a...
No, from the trailer to the car.
He drug her with a belt by her neck to the car.
Like a jean belt.
It was like a combat looking, like almost like a... Not the ones that you guys wear with like the snap on them,
Yeah.
but it's got like 3 holes, or 4 holes and 2 things on each one, and it was like that. And he drug her to the car.
Like a female's belt.
No, it was like a men's belt, but it was a thick, real thick, like real, what's that polyester material?
What color?
Blue, I think.
Okay. So how did he take her out of the trailer?
He drug her down the doorway to the steps, and there's a little, like a, what's that, I think it's a Costco chair. And you guys probably remember them. I was a kid when they first came out. I remember my mom used to have one like that. It's a seat, but where the legs are, there's a thing that pulls out, and it's got 2 steps on it. Okay. He stepped up on that, and when he did, he pulled her up, and he got her front half in the car first, and he jumped down, and he stuffed her back half in the car, and he put her feet down, and he covered her up with a blanket, and then covered her up this way with the other half, and he told me to get in the car.
In the trunk. So you're saying he pulled that little step stool out?
Okay. Hi, Cherie. Cherie's joining us now. She's over from foul play. You guys are done, I take it?
Hello. Yep, we just finished.
Did ya? My voice is diminishing. So we've had a heck of a time over here tonight. My original live, I had no sound. So I had to back out of everything after having everything preloaded and ready to go all day. I had to start all over in like 5 minutes, but I managed.
Wow.
Yeah. So, okay, guys, did you guys just hear all of the details that he just gave about what Chris did and how he described in detail how Chris got Nicole to the car, the step ladder, and all of that? Knowing, I mean, I want to know your guys' thoughts on all of that, knowing that Chris wasn't even there. Come on, y'all.
It's hard to believe how they went, seemed like that they then used him as one of their star witnesses. It's how he lied.
Yeah, I don't think that
Completely.
yeah, Chris wasn't brought in. I mean, actually, some of the paperwork, but that's what I was telling you guys. I think it was yesterday morning that I came across some paperwork that I can get. Um, but yeah, these, it
No, I mean
looks as
Garrett
though
was.
in
No, I mean,
oh, the star witness, and yeah,
it seemed like he was a, maybe he wasn't a star witness, but they used him, if I remember correctly.
yeah. Jennifer says, well, if it were me, I wouldn't remember. That's why I think he knows all the details. Is he is the one? Yeah, he is the one. And under your scars, and how Ashley got thrown under the bus. Yeah, and on Monday night we're going to go into Garrett's second interrogation video, and that's where we get to some of that. Um, but that's why I felt it was important to pretty much go back through this interview with a fine tooth comb so you guys can see how he behaves when he's questioned or he's pinned down and he immediately does a left turn or redirects and changes up his story to make it fit. And he never wants to take the full blame or the full responsibility. It's anything that he did, um, just like in that phone call. Yeah, he admits to saying what he said in the phone call, but he's claiming he said it because he didn't know who he was dealing with when it came to Mikey Hiddle, that maybe Mikey was somebody that he needed to be afraid of. So he had to tell him that he did it all by himself, which made no sense. Can you review what charges each got in the end, please, one time? Yeah, so I'll try to be as accurate as possible. So Garrett, initially, the prosecutor stated publicly that he was going to go for life without parole in this case. Ashley was initially charged with assisting a criminal, and so was Talitha Beckley and Jasmine Parker, and Chris was as well. And he was also charged with, I believe the terminology was making a mockery of an investigation. But immediately at the end of this interrogation video, you'll hear Detective Rowe tell Garrett that there's detectives waiting to speak with him. And I I can only assume, and that's speculation, that the detectives that are waiting to speak with him are detectives from ISP involved in Ray's case. And if that's who they were, that's really, really, really frustrating because if there's detectives there at this point, which is April 1st, so we are 16, let me see, 17, 18, 18 and a half, let's say 19 days. 17, no, actually less than that, 17, 18. We're about 16 days after Ray's body was found because, Ray was They believe that Ray passed away on the 13th. Garrett and Nicole were arrested with one of the Stout boys on the 14th, and then Ray's body was found on the 17th. So from the 17th until April 1st, I believe 16 days, 16, 17 days. And the vehicle, Ray's vehicle that they were driving, would have linked them to Garrett once his body was found on the 17th. So if those are the detectives that are here waiting to speak to Garrett immediately following this interrogation, then why did Ray's family have to wait until almost 6 months later in September to find out that the cause of death was homicide and not natural causes? The investigation into Ray's death could have started as soon as this day right here, April 1st, because they had pulled Garrett over in Ray's car on March 14th. They hadn't found Ray's body yet, but as of the 17th, they did. And they immediately produced the vehicle after Ray had been reported missing, and then he was found. Then they found his car because his car was impounded on the 14th when Nicole and Garrett were pulled over in it. So there was the connection right there. I can't imagine that on April 1st, even though probably an hour prior in this video, Garrett brings up Delphi. I can't imagine that they would have someone there immediately based on Garrett saying, well, so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so, I heard were involved with Delphi. I can't imagine the detectives would be there to talk to him about Delphi. So if that's the case, shame on them. Shame on them. But I do know that between now and the time that Ashley bonded out, ISP was there basically trying to pit Ashley and Garrett against each other. They were telling Garrett that Ashley was telling them things in regards to Garrett being involved in Delphi. They were going back to Ashley and telling Ashley that Garrett was saying she knew things about Delphi, which neither one was true. Ashley knew nothing about Delphi. Ashley didn't even live in the state when Delphi happened. Garrett was the one throwing out name drops that he was trying to use as leverage, that I heard so-and-so was involved with Delphi, but he didn't really have any information about Delphi. And all of the things that he said on Open Secrets about who saw what or who did what, we can get into that later on once we're through this video if everyone wants to stay up really late. But yeah, he's full of it 100%. But anyway, backing up to the charges, the prosecutor wanted to pursue life without parole for Garrett. Everybody else was assisting a criminal. And then when I don't even believe that when Garrett in his second interrogation video attempted to throw Ashley under the bus, she wasn't charged until months later. They tried to pit each other against each other. And when they weren't getting out of Ashley what they wanted, and Ashley wasn't going to cop to a plea deal, that they had presented a manslaughter, which was an accidental death plea deal, and she wouldn't take that. Then they went back to the assisting a criminal. Then they went back to, well, if you do a deposition and tell us what we want to know about Garrett, then it was, if you do a lie detector test and tell us, and you give us the answers that we want, which that all turned out to be a fiasco. The prosecutor in the deposition kept basically accusing her of lying in her deposition. And because she wouldn't say what they wanted her to say, her attorney interrupted the deposition and stopped it, took her out in the hallway, talked to her, told her to calm down because she was furious. She was like, I am so sick and tired of being accused of something I didn't do. I'm not going to agree to this. I'm not going to say that. And that's not how this is supposed to go. yada, yada, yada. So ultimately, they went back to Garrett. They offered Garrett a plea deal of, I believe initially it was supposed to be 65 years. Then they dropped it down to 55 years to testify against Ashley, which he agreed to do. Then they came back, they withdrew the plea deal from Ashley, and then they charged her with murder and conspiracy, which in all of this, there's absolutely no proof of any kind of a conspiracy other than Garrett's words that involved Ashley. So the conspiracy charge was 33 years. However, it's running consecutive with the murder charge. But if there's no conspiracy, then why would she participate in a murder? So she got 48 years total between the murder, the conspiracy, and the assisting a criminal who committed murder. It came to 48 years, and Garrett got 55. And in Indiana, you have to do 80% before you're eligible for parole. Let me see. Going back to check, no, they said at first that it was natural causes and then homicide and now murder. Yes, that's exactly what they did to that family. They told the family initially that it was natural causes. Um, I can't all I mean, Cher is Ray's sister, so she knows the details about the investigation. But I don't believe that when they said that he had passed away from natural causes, that they did any kind of investigation, like fingerprinting or DNA testing around the apartment. They let the family believe for 6 months that he had died of natural causes, and then when the cause of death came out, it said homicide by ligature strangulation. And even then, the prosecutor from White County, which was the county where Ray had been found, said that they were going to wait and see what happened in Ashley's trial before they decided to pursue charges against Garrett. So, with that being said, again, I believe that Garrett felt up to this point, midway through all of the pretrial hearings and stuff, I think that Garrett felt that he was going to get off scot free without being charged in Ray's case, which he has been now charged. He was charged in 2023, and the trial in that case is set for the end of February. The last pretrial hearing is, I believe, January 25th, and he's sitting in White County right now um, in order for his attorney to continue to negotiate a plea deal for him. And he's been there for 3 months, and so far it hasn't happened. He was supposed to have been transported, I believe, mid, I wanna say mid the end of September, and out of nowhere, the judge issued a 3rd stay, of housing for him to stay in White County. So, apparently, there's negotiations going on, but so far, based on the case summary online, there's not been any movement yet. Yes, it is such BS under your scars. Oh, Mr. Honesty from now on, Guy FF. Yeah. Yep. No, Ray's hasn't even happened yet. Um, yeah, we're getting there under your scars. Yep. The last I'm assuming that if something's going to happen in that case, if something's going to change, it's going to change either right before the last pretrial hearing or right after the last pretrial hearing in January, right before the trial. But there's 4 days in February that they have blocked off. I believe it's a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and a Monday blocked off for Ray's trial. Um, that's supposed to go down at the end of February. And if it does go to trial, I'm going. So let's hop back into the rest of this video. There's not a whole lot left, but we are now, I'm going to back it up just a couple minutes because he talks so fast and he says so much that it's kind of like, if you don't watch this multiple times, it's so hard to take it all in. And never once so far has he discussed putting Ashley in the hospital, staying at a hotel, leaving this trailer in Kentalnd, which is Jasmine's, with Mikey Hiddle before noon, and going all the way to Delphi / Monticello, however you want to look at the area. I think it's more considered Delphi, but it probably is a Monticello address. But he went to Palladino's property to get drugs, which, again, when he keeps saying everybody at the trailer was high, Ashley begs to differ because he claimed they were going to Delphi to get meth because there was none at the trailer. There was no drugs at the trailer. So he leaves, he goes to Palladino's. He's there with Mikey for a period of time. He goes into the second trailer for a period of time. They go to leave. Talitha's leaving with them. Nicole pulls up. He gets out of the car. This is based on Mikey's version. Garrett gets out of the car, goes over and gets in Nicole's car, and Talitha and Mikey proceed back to Mikey's apartment in Francisville. So none of this is discussed in this interrogation video at all. It's as if it never happened. So you have to ask yourself, why? So when you talk conspiracy, I truly believe there was a conspiracy, but it did not include Ashley at all.
And stood on that.
He stepped on that thing.
To put her in the trunk. Okay.
When he got her out, he wrapped that bow around her neck and kind of hurt us to talk about it because he jerked her out of the trunk and let her flop on the ground. So where the car was parked at, there's probably going to be, hair or something.
So where's that belt at?
I don't know.
Okay.
He grabbed it whenever he got done with it, but I don't know. I don't think it's not in the car.
You parked on the road. You didn't pull in the field.
He pulled into the field.
How far did you pull in the field?
So so there was like a fence there. Did you pull in by that fence?
Yeah, he pulled in next to the gate, wherever that.
Yeah, there's a lock gate there.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, unless Detective Rowe has something, you said you were describing how he put her in the trunk, so you watched him drag her out. I mean, obviously you saw the steps. Did you help him at any point in time? Obviously, it sounds pretty difficult to get in that add-on part of the house. Did you?
Well, that door opens.
Okay.
That door opens. It's just got a lock from the inside. It's got a little latch on it. It's not screwed shut or anything.
So you can't open it from the outside,
but you can open it. Yeah, it's just like the door. It looks like it's padlocked, but you can still open it from the inside.
What did Chris have to say today when you talked to him?
When I talked to Chris today, he said, "Where are you at?" And I said, "I was in Delphi." And he said that Detective Rowe, which I assume is you, there's no other Detective Rowe. He said that you were, and I don't know what your name, I can't remember what your name is.
Wilson.
Wilson? Yep. He said that Detective Rowe and some other guy, which I don't think that's the name he told me, was on the, what's that? It was under investigation by you and somebody else, and there's no suspects yet, and he was down by Crawfordsville, and I needed to go pick him up, and we needed to leave town. But he said that when I called him on the phone, but there's voice messages of him saying that you were on the case and that we needed to get the fuck out of here.
I'm pulling up an aerial view of it so you can show me exactly where you guys stopped and pulled in and stuff like that, okay?
Is there any possibility I could smoke a cigarette?
In a few, yes, in a few.
Can I call my mom?
Not yet. Not yet.
At some point in time, but not right now.
If you again are really trying to do the right thing, then let us get that right stuff out first, okay? Let us get what we need to get done first, and
I know that I didn't do it and I wasn't an accessory to it or whatever. I mean, but I feel like it's my fault because if I wouldn't have took her up there that night with me and Ashley trying to get her all off yet, because I didn't have any intention on getting high that night. I was just trying to have a good time.
Initially asked you, was she with you and Ashley?
I know, I should have told you guys.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
If we don't know answers to the questions we're asking, then what's the point? Right? Because we're just going to go in a circle.
Yeah.
All freaking day.
I mean,
I use those to
was
gauge
never
how
with
much,
him and Ashley.
how truthful you're going to be, and you were failing bad. A lot of questions I asked you already.
I could see that.
Okay, so, but we're past that. We're past that. I forget it already. So from this point forward, we just need to figure this stuff out. We need to find out where Chris is at. Okay? I don't think you can see too well in this because it's during the summer. Do you know what road you were on? Where you guys don't?
Honestly, I don't know what road we were on. I got fucking, I'm on my way here in the daylight, I got fucking lost.
Yeah.
Like,
So how did you see that trailer at nighttime? Did he know it was there? He did.
Chris said that he used to hunt out there or something when he was younger, or he knew somebody that used to hunt out there.
Okay.
So that would be the,
Okay.
that would be the container, okay?
Okay.
So you see.
Right here is where the gate's at, right?
No, it's actually right there. There's an actual road.
That's the actual road?
The gate would be,
That's the path to that cabin in the back. So
yeah, but that's an actual.
You see there's a gate there, right?
yeah, there's a gate there.
He pulled it. It was right next to the
But this is an entrance right there.
It was right there.
And then there's just open grass.
He pulled up like this far.
Okay, so you're thinking he pulled up that entrance there?
Yeah,
Straight in, backed in,
straight in.
okay? Headlights on, headlights off,
He shut everything off.
Before you even pulled in there?
Yeah.
okay? And then you stood, so the car is facing this way, just like you said, okay? Driver, passenger, and you said you stood at the passenger door. So over here. Is that what you did? Right here.
I followed him. No. I followed him near the container. And I watched the road the whole time. But when he was first like looking around, getting the trunk open and stuff, because to get the trunk open you have to crawl through the back of the car. When he was getting the trunk open and shit, I was watching. And that's the whole reason what made me feel comfortable about her being found, is because I wanted her to be found.
I understand.
She's got babies.
I understand that, and she does. She's got at least 2 that I see. So you have to climb through the back seat to unlock the trunk?
No, I don't have to crawl through the back seat.
Somebody.
Chris has to. Chris crawled through the back of the truck because the trunk's got a little latch on it, and
So apparently it don't work from inside the car.
No, it doesn't have one from inside the car.
So did you help him carry the body from there to the container?
Yes.
I know you did. Because you wanted to make sure she was in there and you guys laid her down on the floor.
Yes. And
Dude, I can't. I keep catching you in lies,
this is the last time I'm going to lie to you. I just want to know that, I don't know. I just want to know my mom's going to be able to see her son again.
You keep doing this? Never. I'm not lying to you. I'm not trying to trick you, dude.
Okay.
I'm just asking you to be truthful.
When I helped him carry her in there, I put her in the container as closest to not being as far back as she could be as possible. And when I set her down, or we set her down, I tried to set her down as gently as possible in the most comfortable way that I could.
Did you carry the head or the feet?
I carried the head.
And which way? Where was the head and feet in the container?
I want to say,
This is the container at the back door where you came in?
yeah.
We know how she was positioned.
When our head would have been facing the back.
You would have went head first.
So you walked in that container backwards.
Yes.
Say anything to her when you laid her down?
I don't remember. I don't remember.
I'm just asking.
I know that when I got to the car and we got in, I said a silent prayer to myself, and I said, God forgive me. And every time I've attempted to try to sleep since then, I've said a prayer that she was, okay.
So what was your feeling when you seen the press release that she was found?
Relief.
Did you feel some closure?
I felt some closure, but I also felt some, closure, but then again I felt guilty, because if I would have never brought her up here to have a good time, and the intention to come up here was just getting tattoos done there, but I was going to hang out and chill, and that fucking shit happened.
I want to get a picture of Chris, so you can tell me that's who Chris is. There could be 12 Chris.
He's got 3 or 4 Facebooks, but I have the one on my phone that it's not the one that was Chris Channing or Channing Mathis. It's not that one. He gets another one every other fucking day, so I'm trying a hard time to remember what his first name is, but the last one's Mathis. But he said, when he sent me that voice message a day, he said, let's just stay off of Facebook. So he was sending voice messages and shit, but your name came up, and then he said, I sent him my phone number and told him to call me, and when he called me, he said, save this number, but I never did, but it was an 891 number. And he said he was down by Whitestown, Lebanon, and Crawfordsville, which is that's really all the same area. They're only like 12 miles from each other.
And what connections does he have down there?
I don't know. I think just a girl he's staying with or something. But he said that his mom was, actually the voice message or whatever it said in that, he said, my mom will give me all the information and all the sources he needs to get the fuck out of here.
You mean his mom, the one that probably lives in Kentalnd?
Yeah, I think. See, I don't even know if that's his mom. I've never met her. He just says it's his mother's house.
What's he look like?
Chris?
Mm-hmm.
Red hair, short, chin straps, or either a beard, and he's kind of dressed as
You got pre-sims on you? You got pre-sims on your phone?
I do not.
and he dresses a weird, like gangster. I mean, when I dress with either tennis shoes on, I try to have my pants up as high as I can.
So after that night, which we really need to dial that in after we get some of these details figured out, or allow you the opportunity to say your side. You left that morning, like, what did everybody else in the trailer do? Like, you guys just literally had a body inside the trailer that some of you guys cared for. See, take her out there. What did everybody do after that?
Jasmine was acting like everything was fine.
Okay.
Like nothing.
What about the other ones?
Talitha that's him.
Yeah.
It upset Talitha, but I mean, she didn't really want to talk about it, and I understand that.
I'm not saying this is him or not. Okay, this ain't like a photo lineup. You named him, so I'm just asking you.
Yeah, that's Christopher. That's definitely Christopher.
Is that the one that
yes.
You're saying killed Nicole? Screenshot that. So how was everybody that morning? I get Jasmine, Dad, who gives a shit, move on. Who else? What did the other one say?
Chris acted like nothing even happened.
Okay.
Ashley she didn't want to talk about it. She didn't want to think about it. So it upset her too, because she knew it upset me.
Okay.
I didn't know whether to cry, scream, kick shit, or just sit down and act like nothing was going on.
Okay. What about that Tati on
Talitha?
Yeah.
She was really upset.
So where did everybody go? You guys, tell me what you did from that point then.
I left. I took Chris to hang on.
I said, don't think about answers, just be truthful.
No, I'm trying to think. When we left, Talitha and Ashley rode with me to go back out to Talitha's to take her back home
Where's Talitha live?
in Delphi. I'm not sure exactly the
Did
exact
you already tell
address.
me that? Did you already give me her last name?
Yeah, Beckley.
What is it?
Beckley.
No, you didn't give me that, okay. B-E-C-K?
L-E-Y.
Okay.
No, yeah, L-E-Y.
Keep going.
I took her back home. When I dropped her off, her boyfriend, we got into an argument because he thought that I was out fucking her and I wasn't. And he didn't know Ashley was in the car because Ashley had the seat leaned back because she was sleeping. Because I got out of the driver's side and let her out. And when she went over to the house, I heard him screaming and yelling at each other. She came outside. She's like, "You need to go before something stupid happens," talking about her boyfriend. And when he started screaming at me, what have you, he's like, "You been out fucking T?" Which that's T's nickname, that's her nickname. And I said, "No, it ain't even like that, man." And when I said that, he was all pissed off. He had a gun in his hand. He shot at the ground with a pistol. So I got in Nicole's car with that, and me and Ashley got the hell out of there. So after we got out of there, I went and I seen my mom. And I met with my mom. We got a little bit of food, got some gas. And then from my mom's, we went to my friend Jeff's house. And we just got away for a couple of days. Didn't talk about nothing, didn't think about what had happened. We just, I was trying to spend as much time with her as I could. And cherish the time I had with her because I didn't know if anybody knew anything. I didn't know if whatever.
You knew this day was probably gonna come.
And when she had looked on the phone and she seen that, I said, "Babe, I gotta go." She's like, "Why?" I said, I have to go. I didn't really have enough time today whenever this happened because I brought the car up here, and that, when I said that somebody told me to bring the car up here, I mean, they kind of did because the title's not in the glove box. Like that part was true.
Okay.
And when I called Mike, I was going to go see my grandma's grave because I was late to my grandma's funeral. Whenever she died, which is like almost 2 weeks ago.
And I understand, I'm sorry to hear that, but you left that next morning, so I kind of got how everybody felt.
Yeah.
And then you went down there, you just made some quick stops because you kind of thought that the day might come.
Well, it's not that I was scared that somebody was going to be on my trail. It's just I wanted to get there and I wanted to relax. And it's not that I just wanted to forget about it, but I wanted to.
Okay, so what day were you down there then to help ID on what day that you guys did this?
Did what? Went to my friend's house?
Jasmine's and everything with Nicole. Because you said you went away for a couple of days. Okay, so we discovered her on Saturday.
Okay, Friday. It was Tuesday or Wednesday. I can't give an exact date because we were high. But if I look on my Facebook, I can probably find, look and see what day we were there and what have you.
Okay, well I know it wasn't Tuesday.
It had to have been Wednesday. Because we were up here we was up here for a day or two.
So you're believing Wednesday night. And what time again?
When we got back up here, it was like...
No, what time did you take Nicole out there and put her in the container?
Oh, that... It was like... Fuck. Like 2:30 or 3, something like that.
Okay. And then that next morning you left, and that's when you were hanging low. When did you see the press release on Saturday?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, today's Monday, so I mean, it's either yesterday or Saturday. Okay. Sit tight. I'm gonna take a break, okay? But we need to keep talking to find out maybe where Chris is at and stuff like that.
I hope you guys anyway.
Well, that's all you got right now. Right now, I mean, you really need our help. I already had what I needed. I was just giving you the opportunity to help yourself. So yeah, you really need our help. So it'd only be in your best interest just to be truthful. That's it. I don't want nothing made up. Whether to help or hurt you, nothing. I just want the truth. Let's take a break and then I'll come back in, okay?
What I was going to say was I think I know who has the title right now, other than, I don't think King has it anymore. What if I could get...
I'm not really worried about the title to the car. I mean, honestly. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I was just, because I don't think that that he just did that for no reason. Because he knows a few people about where I am, but Talitha's boyfriend was talking about, he's like, well, Chris told me what happened when I dropped her off, and I don't know how in the hell he could have known that. So I don't know if, you know, if that was like a premeditated type of thing, because Nicole knows Terry, which Terry lives behind Jason, which is where Nicole was staying for a couple of days. When I said I went to Terry's and Russell's to kind of see her or whatever, Nicole lost her keys one night, and I helped her look for them all, like 4 hours, you know, through the yard, everywhere. When we came back off the porch, they were laying right next to her fucking car. And over the events of her looking for her keys, Jason was telling her to get the fuck off the property, and she's like, well, I can't unless I find my keys. And she's like, well, I'll just call the police. And Jason's exact words were, I don't think that'd be a good fucking idea. And I don't know if she called the cops or not, but I know that she did find her keys.
Okay. So you're just saying that Chris needs to explain whether it was premeditated, because apparently either he was running his mouth, kind of bragging, or he had an ulterior motive.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? But you're still saying he did it?
Yes.
Okay. All right, give us a break, okay? Drink some water. We'll be back in.
Okay. So that last little section right there, as we go further into these interrogation videos, with these, you just have to learn to read between the lines. But what he was doing there was first backing up, he's talking about, now remember, he's always making himself out to be the victim or the man that everybody wants. So he's talking about when he drops Talitha off and Jason comes outside and starts going off. And he claims that Jason is going off because he's accusing of Garrett and Talitha of being out all night, fiddling around, apparently. And then pulls a gun and shoots off the gun. Well, Ashley confirmed that that happened. Ashley was in the back seat and she watched it all. And she said that Jason pretty much, as they were pulling up Hodges Drive, Jason come flying out the front door. And she was up. The reason that it was important to her was because she said that the police had been to the Palladino property numerous times. They had served warrants there. Mark Palladino and Talitha back in, I think, 2018 had been arrested there with the Grigsby brothers, and that the whole entire place was covered with cameras, which when you look at the video that I took when I was there recently, you wouldn't think that a place like that was um, covered with cameras. However, I'm going to pull this up really quick. Right by the front door, on the first trailer, on this image here where you see 6045 Hodges Drive, the first trailer, right by the front door is a tree. And right there's a camera. I was able to find that. And I believe that, the other pictures I can't pull in close enough in the trees or mounted on the trees to see for sure what they are. But this one for sure is definitely a camera. So I found one on the property right by the front porch. But she said that so Jason could see anybody coming and going at all times, and that he was coming out the door as they were before they even pulled in front of the trailer, and he had a gun in his hand and he was going off. So that did happen, and that version of events we're going to get into later, and it's definitely going to be something that's discussed by Talitha in her interrogation video. But I wanted to pull that up to show you guys that there actually is a camera there, and I'm assuming there's other cameras, and everyone that I've spoken to has said that the whole area was covered with cameras. And let me pull that back up really quick. And the reason, based on the people that I've been in contact with, yes, Jennifer, that happened the morning after Nicole died. When you know, and I don't want to sit here and keep saying what Ashley says or what Ashley says, but um, a lot of these things are coming out because of what Ashley has said. And these are things that were conveyed to her attorney that, for whatever reason, were never utilized in her defense at trial. But Ashley said that the next morning, Garrett forced her into the back of Nicole's car, and Talitha rode in the front seat. And when they got to the Palladino property, but mind you, you have to back up because there's a whole nother stop at a trailer in Yemen that we haven't even discussed. And that is where Chris Spencer and her boyfriend, Mike, I don't have a last name, but they live in Yemen, which is also where Jason Palladino's father lives, is in Yemen. Yemen, I don't know how you say it, but it's Yeoman. They stopped there on the way to Garrett taking Talitha back to Hodges Drive. They stopped there to deal with Nicole's title to her car. But what I have found out since then, and being able to make contact with people through Ashley, who or Ashley's family or Ashley's sisters who know someone who knows someone that I've reached out to, most of the time they don't want to talk, they don't want to get involved. But Hodges Drive, if you look at, I'm sorry, it's so small, but where the Stout home is in the red box, that home faces Hodges Drive, or I'm sorry, West 600. And then if you're coming in and you turn right on Hodges Drive and you're passing the Palladino trailer and the second trailer, and you come up here and you go to the left and you follow Hodges Drive, all the people that live along this road are all connected some way, shape, or form. And that's why they call it the compound. It's not, I don't believe it's just these two trailers right here, the second trailer and Palladino's trailer, the 6045. There are several areas on Hodges Drive that have affiliations with the Palladinos, that they all look out for each other. There's a lot of mysterious things that have gone on there, a lot of crazy things that go on there. A lot of police come out there, a lot of fights, a lot of gun shooting. But the whole area right there is videotaped, to the point of the people who live out there in that area, they really, if they don't have to pull onto Hodges Drive, they simply refuse to because they are afraid that they're going to be on camera and someone is going to come out and confront them. So that's where I think the nickname, the compound comes from because it's not just that those two little isolated trailers. And in fact, this 6067 Hodges Drive, I do know for a fact that there is a Cottrell who lives there right now and has lived there for quite some time. Ashley wasn't sure of the address. But when I asked her about the address, she said that might be the trailer. And I'm going to say that might be the trailer. It's not this trailer because I now know who lives there. But the fact that Talitha Beckley gave 6067 Hodges Drive as her address in her deposition months after giving the 6045 address, I wanted to figure out what the deal was. But apparently there is a trailer here on Hodges Drive somewhere that Talitha and her husband used to live in together that was foreclosed on and had apparently become abandoned or was repossessed through a foreclosure. And when I told her 6067, she said, well, that might be the address that Talitha and her husband used to live at that's been, foreclosed on. But 6067 is not that address. That address belongs to another Cottrell, but that Cottrell is not related to Sheena Cottrell. And it's not related to the Cottrell who is currently in a relationship with another Palladino. So there's that. So any questions? We're going to finish out the video to there's not much left, just a couple of minutes where they come back in and tell him about the other detectives coming in. All right. Or are you guys in chat spent for the night? Are you getting tired? I think we have a lag going on here. Well, while we're waiting on them, Cherie, how'd it go tonight over there on Foul Play?
What'd you say? How did it go
tonight?
Oh,
on the rebuttal.
It was very interesting. We had some of the state advocates in the chat, and they were trying to get us off track, but it ended up being a good show.
That's good.
Or a good presentation, I should say.
That's good. Yeah, I started out over there, and then I had to hop over here.
Oh, that's right. I saw you.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to hop back in here to Garrett's video. We're going to finish it out, and then we can be done for the night. Let me see. We're at the part right now where I think he lays his head on his arm and he starts pouring.
Jasmine had a warrant, and when her...
Back it up a little bit.
There's dope there.
I don't know Jasmine all that well. I don't know how much dope was there or nothing like that. From what she was talking, when I first met that Mike guy, Mike and Jasmine both talked like Mike was her dealer in the whole 9 yards.
It's so dark when all that transpired.
Mm-hmm. It was so dark when outside when after he left to go after him and went in the car too.
Good enough.
All right. You're being held right now on Jasper's charges, okay?
What?
On the resisting charges.
Is there any possible way that, like, what happens when I go see the judge, or can I get bonded out?
You can they'll probably issue a bond. It's probably gonna be a few days, I don't know, but, I mean, truthfully, you know that you're gonna be expecting some charges from our side. I mean, you gotta know that that's coming, right? What the specific charges are yet, don't know. That's up to the prosecutor's office. We just gather facts, okay? That's why I try to reiterate, being truthful goes a long way in that long-term goal, or that long-term plan, your life plan. So I'm hoping that you're only as much truthful as I was forcing you to be, meaning with the facts that I already had. But I'm hoping that when we walk out of the room, that you were being truthful with me and you did not have any more involvement. Because I'm just saying, if you did, all you had to do is tell us. But you're saying Chris did that. So we're still on the same level on that.
Yes. Does anybody know how much my bond would potentially be or anything like that?
No, it's definitely over here in this county. I don't know what their bonds are.
What is it exactly, do you know?
No, that's why I said I don't know. It's gonna be, the resistance is gonna be a low-level felony. A 6 or something, but I don't know what their bond amounts are over here. It's a different county.
Fuck, my mom's gonna fucking kill me.
Okay? But instead of sitting here, all day, I was just making sure that you did not have any further facts that you needed to relay. Yeah, we need to clarify that up a little bit about the argument. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you.
Can I still get the cigarette we talked about? Or?
Yeah, let me check with those guys, okay?
Okay.
Darn it. I'm going to let this play out for share because I'm almost positive they come in and say there's other detectives waiting to talk to him.
Yeah, I got all that stuff. Whose cuffs does he have?
The younger guy.
The younger guy, he's about 40, he put him on you.
Not real another one.
Oh, Wilson?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, those are Vince's. I will give you credit, I saw I like to go through a lot.
Yeah, I would have just fucking been smart and not let her do it. Can I put my shoe back on?
Yeah, that's cool.
I'll screw this up for us.
I know, you know, don't worry about it. Cool. Give me the hand. Already got this one open. Yeah, you got your jacket, all your shoes and all that good shit?
Yeah.
Sorry, share. It must be the next video that we are going to go over on Monday where they come in. So that would be, this is the first, and that would be the fourth, where they have the investigators waiting to speak with him. And let me see here. Back up. Close that out. But Ashley said that they were questioning her. So, like when they hold them in booking like that and they don't actually charge them, like he wasn't being charged with Nicole right then. They were going to book him on the the whatever charges they had on him for running in Nicole's car in Jasper County. They put him in booking. They can hold him in booking. I believe it's for like 72 hours without actually charging them, but they can continue to question them. And Ashley said that when they held her in booking, that Detective Rowe came back to her actual booking cell and woke her up to question her. So those interviews are not recorded, and there's no record of those. So what transpires during those, I do not know, and we'll probably never know. So any thoughts or opinions before we get done? Go ahead, Cherie.
They shouldn't be questioning them without recording it. I wonder why they don't, or why they are allowed to get away with not recording it.
Yeah. And and the thing is like when Ashley told me that, I don't even think that she realized that that was a thing. Because I was like, I'm confused on, you know, these interrogation videos and what's transpiring in between. And she was like, well, how many do you have? And I told her, and she goes, well, what? And that's when she told me about, well, Detective Rowe came back, and she's like, there was one time he came back and woke me up when I was still in booking and was questioning me, and he was questioning her about Delphi. But see, it seems like during this time frame, they were being questioned about Ray and they were being questioned about Delphi. But because those are two separate cases, they're not going to categorize them as falling under this case file. So when I requested these interrogation videos, I requested them under this case number. They're not going to include those. And even if they were under this case number, they would probably not release them anyway because Delphi and Ray's is still ongoing.
Well, maybe they're saying because it's about a different case, they don't have to. But from what I've learned, the rule is when they're in custody, they're still in custody. Maybe it's for a different crime, but it's still or alleged crime, but they're still in custody. So
Right, especially when they're using one case versus another against each other, trying to get them. And the thing is that, I mean, clearly, like when you watch both, well, we haven't gotten to either one of their second ones yet, but when we get to them, you're going to see that Ashley doesn't say anything about Delphi. That was a complete, cold slap in the face when that was brought to her attention. Like, what? What is he talking about? He's just throwing anything and everything against the wall to see what sticks for leverage, thinking that, well, if he's got information that might, allow him to negotiate. Like, each time the detectives got ready to get up and walk out of the room, he had one more thing that he wanted to offer. Like, what if I could get her title? What if I could help you find Chris? And then he brings up Palladino, which the Palladino situation I think is a real situation. It's just a matter of proving it. And I've had a couple of people, talk about the fact that Jason Palladino wasn't questioned and wasn't charged or forced to come in. And there's only two scenarios where that's good. And Cherie, tell me if I'm wrong, but there's only two scenarios where that's going to work. And that is one, if the second that he thought he was being implicated and he hired an attorney, and his attorney said that he wasn't willing to speak to the investigators. That's one. And two, he said, I'm taking the fifth. However, him taking the fifth or hiring an attorney doesn't exclude him from charges being filed, nor does it exclude him from being marched into a courtroom and being put on the stand, whether he wants to take the fifth or not, and being questioned and being required to plead the fifth on every single question, if that's what he wanted to do. Yet we have a conspiracy charge where someone's been charged of a conspiracy and given 33 years for a conspiracy that was supposed to be him being the ringleader and the dictator of, that we have absolutely nothing on paper that indicates that he was ever questioned or asked to be questioned or pled the fifth or anything. It was all based on Garrett's word.
Wow. That's
But am I
unbelievable.
right? Am I right? Are those the two circumstances where, hiring an attorney and not wanting to talk, or taking the fifth? But those two things still don't exclude him from being charged.
No, you're correct. Yes.
So
I still think there's some connections there at work, but that's just my
yeah.
speculation.
Well, there's right. Well, hopefully, once we get this, get the case file. Keep
Yep.
going back to the case file. So, all right, everybody. I feel like everybody's tuckering out, getting tired. We will be back on Monday with Cherie and Rhonda will be here, and we will be jumping into Garrett's second interrogation video. It's probably going to be labeled with a trigger warning. So the family members know. Again, I know that they've probably heard it all, but the next one that Garett goes through, I just feel like it's a little bit much, and I want to give you guys the heads up. And I hate the fact that this needs to be gone through, but it does need to be gone through. So we will be back at 7 on Sunday, and
Monday.
we will see you guys. I'm sorry, yeah, Monday. I've lost a couple of days being sick, so it's going to be on Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time under your scars. So I'll probably post the thumbnail and stuff for it tomorrow and get that out of the way. Yep, Monday, 7 Eastern Standard Time. So, all right, thank you everybody for coming in and grueling through this. I hope it was insightful and helpful. And if you guys have any questions or anything like that, feel free to, post them in the comments after we get off, or you can email me, casebycase10@gmail.com. I always respond, as I try to respond as soon as I get the notification on everything. So until Monday at 7, we will see you guys later. Good night, everybody.